don't care. I don't care. No sympathy. Don't care. I don't care. I just don't care. I'm sorry.
Well, hello, ladies, gentlemen, everyone in between. I'm starting solo today because Chugs is late as usual. Taylor is not here tonight. He's got a bunch of house stuff that he needs to do. And I'm pretty sure they let Greg out of the whatever closet he was in. He told me that he was taking his kids to Disneyland. I don't know if I believe it. Like that's what someone who's trapped, like that's a really good excuse. Like, hey, I can't be on the stream tonight. I'm taking my kids to Disneyland. Like who questions that? This guy. I don't think it's real. So if anybody knows Greg Murray in real life, if anybody has his cell phone number, check in on him. Make sure he's okay. If you know where he lives, welfare check somebody. So Chugs is here. So let's talk.
We've traded one hostage situation for another. Look at me.
Nice, man. You're in your new digs, right?
In my new digs. It took over a year. Plunge nose. I won't get into details, but damn it, man. Don't ever build a house unless you have like infinity money, or just don't ever build a house. Just trust me. Just don't ever do it. But here we are. It's nice. I've got a little spot. We got internet 2 days ago. I'm cracking a fresh bottle in honor of the Royal Society of Players being cards. This is another bottle of Smoke Wagon from Vegas. So I'm going to crack that open. It's a small batch this time. The last time I had the uncut, unfiltered. It's this one's probably a more standard pour. The uncut, unfiltered was like 116 proof or something like that. So this one's a little easier to take, but here we are. Got my jaw jersey on. See, the NBA season's over. This is kind of the last time I'll wear it till, whenever shit starts up again. So
yeah, the NBA season's over.
It's finally over.
What are we going to do? What are we going to talk about?
I mean, you know what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, we're going to talk about
literally everything else.
There's so much to talk about.
So much.
I have my own Discord, and it's got like 28 people in it. It's all like my close Top Shot and NFT people. And I'm not like really looking at doing something where it's like, oh, it's the Plungers Discord or anything like that yet, maybe down the line. But like all of us are in so many other Discords, but it's basically a way to consolidate all of my group DMs. Is essentially what it is. Like I see and hear.
Selfish move.
Oh yeah, totally. It's just like a way for me to make my life easier. Probably harder for everybody else. But anyway, long story short, we have like a chat with Greg, Chugs, Taylor, and I started putting together what we were going to talk about tonight and throwing things out there. And we had various guests that were going to bring in. If you were on the First Mint live stream, Fun Guy 995 is going to join us as well. We're going to talk about some next level stuff from the experience. So we're not going to have exactly the same conversation that LG did with him about the finals experience for Top Shot. But there's so much stuff kind of summarizing Top Shot that we do need to do, and sort of getting to the point where we talk through like what's out there, what's come down the pipe, what's coming up, because there's been a lot of news in the last few days, but there's also like a wild amount of stuff happening in the other, like the NFT space more broadly, that like a lot of folks don't have exposure to, and because they can't pay attention to all of those things. And, you know, I'm just like, my brain, the ADHD brain is just like snatching everything. So we're going to talk probably at the back half of this about not Top Shot stuff. So I actually was watching the First Mint live stream. I saw someone and a couple people like, hey, we're here for Top Shot talk. Awesome. Love that. We're going to talk Top Shot to start. We're going to give away some moments. I got some things that I want to give away from my account that we'll do some spins for and whatnot. And then we're going to shift gears and we're going to talk NFTs more broadly. And if you don't care, which is like very in line here, like if you don't care, it's very on brand. You know what? Like, do something else, because, you know, I don't want to bore you. If you're interested in sticking around, awesome. We might have 40 people instead of 80, or, you know, 80 people instead of 160. That's cool. But I need to talk in person, or at least like I need to talk to you, Chugs, outside of DMs about all of this crazy stuff that's been going on, because I sold a sex NFT for $3,500 this week.
Yeah.
And I need to talk about it. Like I need to, I can't not talk about it. So we're going to start talking Top Shot though. And I'm going to bring in Fun Guy actually, cause I want to talk with him about Top Shot too. We'll get to the Game 5 experience as part of the things that we're going to hit, but I want to sort of go through all of the things that are on my short hit list of stuff we've got going on. And go from there. So I'm gonna bring Fun Guy 95 in. How are you, my man?
What's up? I had to put the hat on. I feel like I need to get a jersey out too. Not a cool.
Yeah,
jersey, but
yeah. You're in the goodie room now, man. This is how we roll.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
It's good, man. It's good. Welcome to the stream. Plunge. Lauren saying Plunge sounds like Little Dicky. I sound like Jonah Hill is the actual sound. So that's like if the glass shatters in your brain, you're like, oh my god, like that's what it is.
It's Jonah.
So there's a lot happening, but game six of the finals, Giannis drops a 50 burger, 16 of 18 from the line. You're a Suns fan, I take it, with the vouchers.
I'm repping the swag.
Okay, you're repping the swag. So what's your fandom?
So I said it on First Mint, but I'm kind of neutral. It's weird. I grew up, so I was born and raised in San Diego. It sounds like Greg and I might actually live pretty close. Close enough to play pickup. We were trying to
you and Taylor and
Taylor.
You guys might have to do I think Rock Doggy is and a bunch of other guys are organizing a 3-on-3 tournament or something like that.
I reached out to Rock Doggy and they said San Diego for sure. And I was like, I figured, but growing up in San Diego puts you in an interesting place of NBA fandom, right? Do you join the Lakers bandwagon, being far enough away from LA that you shouldn't, and you shouldn't? And I was always kind of like an Ed, like, do I ride the Clippers? Do I not? The Clippers started in San Diego. So there's some, well, didn't start, but had a couple of years there in the 70s, right? And
that's the name. That's the name, right? Like right. San Diego is a naval town, and a Clipper is a type of a boat. So the Clippers were, that was the whole naming convention.
So, and I feel like Top Shot led me to like, you've got to pick a team. It's been long enough. You've got to pick a team, and I'm like, I'm going to sign up for the heartbreak that has and probably will be the Clippers. Mm-hmm. And I got the San Diego roots with Kawhi. He actually used to run his camp at my high school.
Okay.
So if someone can get deep enough and research that, but
you can figure it out.
It was a shitty gym, and when he was like his first 2 years on the Spurs before he's making real money. But yeah, so I think that's the closest I get. I'm edging my way in, right? Or neutral enough where I can still enjoy those games and not have any vested interest. But maybe we start with that, right? Yeah. So why the Suns? How did it end up with the Suns?
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Like, I think it's an interesting question. And in talking to like the team there, the Top Shot team, I guess they were talking to like a number of teams to do this experience for, right? So it sounded like, I mean, obviously
this was in the works.
Right. But they were beginning of playoffs. They said, here's what we want to do. Let's reach out to a few teams. It sounded like the Sixers were for sure one in the works.
Yeah, Morey's
Morey's
right.
Yeah.
With Morey, it's a given, right? But but interesting to think, right? It could have been another team. It very well could have been another team. They wanted to get one team that would make it to the finals and had some early discussions.
Yeah.
And it ended with the Suns. I feel like the framing of it being like the Suns experience maybe wasn't fair. Because there are plenty of people on Top Shot that are much bigger Suns fans than me. Like I enjoy watching their basketball. Like, how could you not? I'd question that probably of anyone. But like, why the Suns is super interesting.
Yeah, and maybe it's just their social media team and their sort of like hospitality team is more forward or amenable to some of that stuff. But I mean, the in-arena experience things that they've talked about in, future fandom, like that's where this is headed. And we've said it since the beginning. One of the things one of the people that has been the strongest proponent of that, if you don't, I'm sure everybody here is familiar with Club Top Shot, but Peter Jennings, has talked about that, like, indefinitely. Is like, this is how you go about doing big hospitality type stuff to take care of people and collectors and all these different things. So, I'm glad that you won, and I'm glad that everybody else that won did. It seemed like it was a pretty like diverse set of people that won in terms of like the type of collector they are, the teams they support and whatnot. So I'm curious, like, in meeting all of these people who you may have interacted with or seen their Top Shot username in Discord or whatever, like, was there anything that was surprising to you? Is there any new friendships that you built that, or things that you may have presumed about groups or anything like that your mind was shifted on?
Yeah. Well, I guess the real diversity of what people are in Top Shot for at this point, right? I mean, we're 300,000 plus users at this point, maybe more, maybe we crossed 400. But like, the reasons people collect is super interesting, right? Like, there were a few people there that are card people, like walking up to Rex Chapman with a card in hand, right? Being like, let's take advantage of this. And then maybe like NBA and NFT and crypto fans second there, which was interesting. And then you've got people like the OG crowd, right? Obviously you have representation there, people that have been in there a long time and have more serious ones that I could.
Did you say, is it Jewy or Joy?
So that's the weird thing. It's like, you show up, right? Imagine you take your favorite Top Shot Discord and you show up. How do you introduce yourself? Like, I think it's a question for everyone. Right. Like, have you ever said that out loud to someone and like shook someone's hand? Maybe you're alone, Plunge, there. But like, no, I hadn't thought about that experience. Like, so hi, I'm Fun Guy. I should have practiced it in the mirror.
Fun Guy. No, I've thought about that. So not only in like streams and stuff where I'm like talking to people and like, oh, hey, Plunge or whatever. Like when LG and I started doing the First Mint live show, it's sort of weird referring to me as that. But that in person, no, because I did try and sort of put together something when the Bucks were playing the Nets and I went down there for game 4. Milwaukee's like an hour and 15 minutes away from here. But I was so like, I had a long night the night before. And so like game time, I was hurting. So I was like sitting like this in a restaurant like this. So I didn't respond to anybody to do any meetups that day. But a handful of people had reached out and I was, that's an interesting one, but you're interesting, or, hi, I'm Fun Guy, as opposed to your real name.
Like, right. And I think like I had that discussion with AJ on Top Shot Friday, like Thursday night when we came in, like, how do you expect this to do? Yeah. like Crusoe is like totally right? You just don't think about it. And then it's like, do you want people, like, it's almost like we needed name tags where like, here's your real name and here's your Top Shot account name.
Right.
And I think by the end of the weekend, it's like I knew people's real names, and now I'm still piecing together who was that, which I guess was a more interesting thing. And I'm curious to see like how does that do at like a larger scale if we all plan a game and we meet up, even if it's on our own accord, right? How does that work? How do you remember? How do you connect back to Discord when you're done? I don't know. Remains to be seen.
So there's a good question in the chat, and for folks in the chat, if you have things that you're interested in learning about, I'm certainly going to ask some of the things that I'm curious to know, but feel free to throw them out and I'll plug in as much as I can. So the good question is from Vandy. Do you know if anybody turned it down? Did anybody say anything about that?
So no, right. I talked about it on First Minute. I had my cousin's wedding that weekend. Like, think something I committed to months out, right? So I didn't get close, but from what I know, I was one of the closer ones.
Of like, hey, maybe I'm in. And what is so when you got the email and what was like? Do you know what the compensation was? Like, what the number was? Like, if you decided to opt out?
Oh no, I don't know. I mean, to be real, it was never really a question. It was more of like, how long will my family dislike me if I skip this wedding? But I don't know what the compensation was. Interesting enough, in the framing of the survey we got afterwards from the team, there was definitely a question that was like, did you turn it down? Which leads me to think that there's definitely a high probability like someone did.
Yeah.
One guy, I think the furthest someone came was from Sweden.
Oh, wow.
I think his partner like is from Sweden and he was working there with work from home and like flew in and met with a buddy who was living here almost a half day of travel to get to the game.
That's a pretty dope thing to do though. Like NBA finals. So NBA finals, Super Bowl, World Series,
national championship football,
and national championship game, the Olympics, like some of these other things.
World Cup.
Yeah, there's a lot of those things that like for many people it's a once in a lifetime thing. You don't have the expendable income to do it. Like the tickets are outrageous. I think that even
hotel, just airfare, all that stuff. I mean,
it's thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for most people, and that's a really cool thing that they did. So I'm curious, and I'm wondering if they'll share any of that. They probably won't. But I'm curious, like from talking, it sounded like you met a bunch of people from the Top Shot team, AJ on the social media side, and obviously Jacob was there. Who else from the Top Shot team was there that you met?
Only one more person. Brenton taking the photos.
Okay. So just the three.
Just the three, right? And it's like a lean, mean team. I think if anything, it's a reminder of how early we still are. Like the product feels polished and it's three people running this whole thing. And Jacob wasn't going to go until last second. Jacob had other commitments and like commitments enough where he was considering no and had to get like convinced into it. And it has nothing to do, like, I don't want to expose his personal business sort of deal, but like it's a valid excuse. We'll say that, right? Like as a dude who loves the NBA as much as anyone, especially that weekend, right? Like he almost said no. And then it would have been two people running the whole weekend.
Right.
And so like a lot of it just kind of happened, right? Like it's like you get your corporate Amex card for a weekend and you like treat people to this experience and go, what can we do to make it? Like we ran out of beer in the suite and like someone's like, we got to get more beer.
Load it up.
Exactly. Like we came in and there's a 12 pack and we're looking around and going like, there's 15, 20 people. Like
we're going to need like four more of these.
This isn't going to last till tip. Like we're gonna need a few more, so like that type of stuff. But it almost made it that much better. Like if it was polished, it might have felt out of place. Like I'm not a dude who goes to box seats like off. Like I can count on like one time maybe in my life I've been into a box. And I
Chubb,
might
you
have
ever
been
been in
like,
a box?
yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, yeah. My fun sweet story with the NBA was the first year that the Grizzlies kind of got on their grind run. They beat the Spurs in the first round. They were the 8 seed, beat the 1 seed Spurs, and then they took the Thunder to 7, I believe, that year. The Grizzlies were so like they didn't really have much of a fan base quite yet, and they were basically trying to like give away tickets to get people to fill up playoff games. So I took down an entire suite for like $3,500 or $3,600 or whatever, with 4 parking passes, because I was like, I know I'm gonna allocate this to like friends, family, whatever. I wasn't worried about getting like made whole on it, so I just took down a whole suite and got, I had parking passes, I think I said, and just it was like a Saturday, like 6 or 7 o'clock game, so we were out like on Beale Street at like 1 o'clock. Like, it was an amazing experience, just the whole daytime, like day drinking and then rolling into the game. I guess to that end, I wanted to ask, like, for you guys, you were saying that it was kind of like sort of like ad-libbing kind of as they went. Was it, I guess to that end, I wanted to know, like, how much of it was sort of like, okay, like, we're going to do a little Top Shot clip, like marketing thing, like where we, ask a question, like, how much fun are you having or whatever? Or was it pure, did it ever feel like, you were at a, for lack of a better word, like a company, like a corporate sponsored event type deal? Or was it very loose the whole time?
No, loose the full time, right? Like it's weird to be followed by someone with a camera, right? Like I think my girlfriend and I were talking about that. Yeah, I'm sure plans you have people waiting outside and maybe not your kids. No, I mean, like that was the weird part, right? Like, my girlfriend's thinking like, everywhere we go, we have to be ready to be pictured, but it didn't feel like you were posing. Like, I think the AJ framed it good. Like, you have your own Instagram boyfriend, like, for the weekend to take pictures of you. Like, that was it. Like, nice. You could basically be like, nice. Hey, Brendan, like, I don't want an iPhone picture of this. Like, I want a professional grade picture. And he was but by no means was it posing, really.
Yeah, it's like, hold on. I got this really good craft beer from Scottsdale. Can you just get me chugging this real quick? Guys, like, gotcha.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
cool.
Exactly. Like, when I got to like the Western Conference Finals trophy, I'm like, okay, this is I need a real picture for this. Like, I don't need an iPhone picture.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, taking a picture with the Western Conference Finals trophy, though, like, it's not the Larry O'Brien.
No, but like, still, have you ever touched it?
So
yeah, like, not the finals.
Fill me in real quick, because I admittedly wasn't like glued to the Top Shot Twitter stream of like everything that was going on. I did catch the Top Golf clip though, fantastic. But were you guys like were you guys like getting to go check out the lockers and stuff before games, and you were at shoot around and all that stuff, or no?
So locker rooms are off limits for everyone, press included.
Okay.
It's a
COVID thing. Yeah, okay.
So
had there not been
COVID, that was like the one caveat that they, at least when they took us in the tour, it was like basically anywhere you want to go, like, we'll take you, except for the locker rooms. Like, that's just in order to have the game. That couldn't have happened. But I mean, we did do a full tour, and like some of the stories along the tour of like why they put like they've adjusted that arena recently. Like, I didn't know that they have natural light coming in, and it's all because D-Book wanted natural light. He's like, I shoot better on that backdrop on this side of the arena. Like, that type of fun facts that you're like, I would have never known had I just gone to a game. Like, and I'm close enough, I can go to Phoenix and just send it for a weekday game. But like, that was really cool. And I saw Palenji ask that question or posted that comment earlier.
About the boxes.
So the boxes are interesting. So they were flooded with press. So they basically took up the whole level, like on the other side, they had press running. They had outgrown their press box, I think like 3 or 4 times the size, and had people just post it on tables. In terms of boxes, I don't know. Some boxes were open door, some were closed door. Someone did go to the bathroom. I think it was Ron Love Sports. His guest went to the bathroom and came back and was like, just casually saw Kendall Jenner like in the bathroom. So that's
Nice.
like pretty
Nice.
wild.
Nice,
But yeah, more of a
dude.
story of like she
Nice.
saw like her there and I was at the game. Like, but
Yeah.
I don't know in terms of boxes. All the boxes seemed sold. There were no boxes that were empty, and once you have a box, like you could do with it what you want. I don't know.
Yeah, getting people into those boxes, like Snooze works at an arena, and I know a couple of people that work in arenas as well. It's like, some of them don't get sold or don't get picked up by the corporate sponsors, and they do a pretty good job of filling them up in the meantime, even if people aren't willing to do like the crazy hospitality stuff. But couple of things that I wanted to mention. I've been in boxes a few times. My aunt's boss, when we were growing up, was like a big uppity up at like software companies, and he had a box at the Warriors Arena at Oracle, and she would get tickets to all the like the weird concerts and other things that like the kids would like. So the first time I was ever in a box was for a Ricky Martin concert.
Very nice.
I also sat in a box. It was great. It was great. It was very loud, very loud. This was before. So like, anyway. So the second time I was in a box was for an NSYNC concert, which was banging back in the day. We were big into NSYNC. Fuck Backstreet Boys. Chugs, Backstreet Boys or NSYNC?
I mean, I'm gonna have to say NSYNC.
Yeah.
And then coming to Memphis now, Justin Timberlake, like it's definitely NSYNC. Not even close.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Fun guy?
NSYNC.
Okay. You're not like a 98 degrees guy?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I'm also too young for that, so I'm like on the edge.
That's true. Are you like One Direction?
No. So I'm like somewhere in between.
Okay.
Is 95 your birth year?
I assume.
Yeah. Fun guy. Yeah, it's the same. I got a younger brother, same year, and he's you're right. It's that in between. You guys you were coming of age when the boy band thing had kind of flamed out. It was
I'm like
onward
in
and upward.
boy bands. I should like add that to my resume.
In between boy bands.
In between boy bands.
Yeah, 2010. Like I guess
One Direction.
Yeah, 2005 to 2010 would have been like the formative years for you in terms of like pop music.
The boy bands of his
Bieber.
age are more like Bieber, or honestly like the EDM explosion, like pretty much kind of syncs up with
you,
right? Wouldn't you say like you're 18 to 20, like
Skrillex?
Maybe so.
Well, like Chainsmokers, like and all that. Chainsmokers is mid 2010.
Come on, okay, boomer.
Like High School Musical, maybe that's my era.
Yeah.
Like not that I'm a big High School Musical guy, but like
this took a hard
the
left.
age where you had to make that choice. Am I a High School Musical person or not?
I love.
Oh, that's terrible. I'm so glad I aged out of that one. God,
no, I was all about it.
Basketball theme too, right?
Oh,
that's
sure.
Probably a Top Shot handle that's open. Someone can go change.
Oh God,
to be the High School Musical Top Shot.
That's the way to go.
So more.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, really, the most important question. After the game, did you guys go out and get banged up or not?
Yeah. So
good.
Funny enough, we did.
who was the clique? Like who was the guy? Who were the people that you were like? Okay, I'm down with this crew. Like,
so I loved Andrew and his guest. So his guest is Zach Oliver, NBA. I'm sure it's like does a blog for. I mean, big in the community too. Mm-hmm. But I mean, by no means an influencer. But him and iRacer and I and my girlfriend went out, and we lost some other people. Like we walked into a bar, and I'll just say some people walked out. They were like, it's too crazy for us, right? And we were like, whoa, we're getting drank. Like, we're here.
Were you in downtown Phoenix or were you in Scottsdale?
No, so we're in downtown Phoenix.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you end up at Bottle Blonde or something, and wherever that little circle is. And I can't remember what it's called. But.
Someone did question. So there was like, we're bumping in a little bit after the game, right? Because we went back and like collected and said, who wants to go out? And at first the Top Shot team was like, we'll go with you. And then I think they thought wiser of it, of like, we don't want those stories getting out.
Oh yeah. That's there's a fine line between whining and dining and turning out. Yeah.
At a certain point, you
like
just let them go.
It's a business trip for them, right? Like as nice as they were and as like genuine, I think they realized. And we're like, but one person was like, hey, let me know where you are. And I might meet up with you guys later. And we ended up staying out like the same amount of time. But we definitely did go out and got a few drinks, but it was a long day.
I can imagine.
Because I think that was the day we went to the store at like 9 a.m. before it opened.
Just got everything. Just so
they're sold out of jerseys.
All the gear.
Sold out of jerseys, which was like the biggest bummer, right?
Yeah.
But at that point, I'm like, which one of my friends that like I couldn't take here? I got to get stuff for everyone, right?
Yeah. Was this a blank check? You could just
no. It was like $400. $400.
That's still pretty good
for 2 people. I mean, the goal of mine was like I want to get a jersey.
Yeah.
And I couldn't walk away with it. But still, you're like, I'm gonna commemorate. Like I'm gonna grab some swags or anything that says the finals.
Yeah, you have to.
Like
absolutely
I was like with the playoff run, I'll grab the Valley shirt. If I can't get the jersey, I'll grab the shirt.
The Valley shirt, the Valley logo, like small side note, is fucking a 10. Like that logo right there is so clean. Love it.
Yeah, and I was like, this just looks good. Like I'm happy repping this and like answering questions why I'm wearing it.
Was it hot as fuck, by the way?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
like 110 degrees.
Like you've got to think about what you're doing like at all times and how you're going to get to AC. It's not like, oh well, like just the half a block walk from the hotel to the stadium. It's like like you're getting to the stadium, like we'll have the AC on at some point.
Yeah.
Like
dry heat sweat. Though, man. Just total desert.
Yeah.
I know Vegas in July. I mean, like Arizona can't be much different. So that'd have been one thing that I would have been. That'd have been tough.
We actually went and watched Space Jam just to get like out and go into the AC, and like our Uber driver's like, yeah, I watched it for free on HBO, and I'm like, that's not the point.
That's
like
not,
you don't understand the weekend I'm having.
Someone else's.
You don't understand the weekend I'm having, and like we're gonna go see Space Jam, and we're gonna have a great time, and we're gonna be in the AC.
Did you get the Space Jam NFT when it dropped?
Yeah, of course. I got all 3. I maxed it out.
Did you share again today to get more?
Is there another?
Yeah,
no, I haven't yet.
Got to check our feed. I did it. You see, it's on my Twitter feed. I'm sure. Okay, you can check my feed.
I've been off Twitter, like trying to actually work as much as you can do that with NFTs. Like you're like, I blink and I miss something. But
there's been a lot this week.
We got like 5. I'm curious. So how do you guys think? Quick Space Jam tangent. Mm-hmm. How do you think that's going to sell? Because the 5 days, their marketplace opens up. Like, do we just bring down Nifties? And how much do you think those things are going to be worth? There's been a lot of like theory on it, right?
I mean, how much is the McDonald's or like the cereal box toy worth?
Yeah.
$3.
I think it's a very promo
$3.
Yeah. I mean, at least like if it's not rare and there are some rare things in there, but like, I think it's one of those like McDonald's promotional collectibles. You know, maybe somebody would care, but I don't see it being a thing or a big thing. That said, some people might. If someone had one of those, I would sell it right away. Like if you had a super rare one, I would try and be the first person to sell a big number. And like, there's going to be 5 people gunning for like a big number, and everybody else is going to get hosed. It's sort of like
got a rare Bugs Bunny, and I'm like, I think I'm going to list everything right away. And then like just for sentimental value, I kind of want the set, no like of knowing it's not worth anything, but like, that's
maybe it is.
Yeah, you never know.
I don't know. I've been wrong before.
I was gonna say that'd be where the bid is. I mean, it's just gonna be somebody just kind of nostalgia, whatever, like wants to just complete a set, and like that's really it. I don't think there's anybody who's legitimately thinking, I'm gonna get rich off this legendary LeBron Space Jam promo NFT or whatever. But so you saw the movie, like I started it, but hadn't finished. Like my life's been kind of crazy the last week, like moving and all that kind of stuff. But like spoiler-free review, like what do we think? Is it pretty shit? Is it okay? Like what are we thinking?
I really enjoyed it, and I'm a big the original. I'm a big fan. I think it lost a little bit of the quirkiness, but like without Bill Murray in the cast. Like, how are you going to reobtain that? Like, that's just feels like a ground level requirement.
Is there like a Bill Murray kind of like funny dude who can kind of like steal whatever scene? Like, I can't remember like the cast. Is there a guy like that in there, like a Kevin Hart type dude or something? Or I don't know.
They tried. I don't know if they achieved.
Okay.
I enjoyed the movie, but it's a movie you would enjoy after a couple beers. And like not taking it too seriously, you're like, I'm going to enjoy watching this.
Perfect.
And like, it might be the only time I watch it, but that's fine. And let the LeBron versus MJ conversation like and continue and ensue. Like now we have another data point to compare the two of them. Like
original Space Jam was better.
Right. I think I want to give it a second try. I feel like there's a lot of hate going towards it, and I was like, I enjoyed the movie. I don't know what the hate's about.
I saw the opening. So like I said, started it, didn't finish though. Like, and when I say started it, first 15 minutes. The opening like title scroll, like chronology of LeBron's career is dope. Like that's cool. I like seeing that. Like all the way from like when he's a little kid, like middle school, high school, like all the way up to the title, last year or whatever. Just as the opening credits are going, like that was a cool like highlight reel. And I'm sure LeBron was just sitting there, just like, yeah, that's me. Fuck yeah, I'm the best. Like the whole time, just like yeah, run that back again. Yeah, that's good.
He's probably like, let's pick this clip for that title. I don't really like that. I want to rep the Heat a little more.
Right.
But let's make sure we get AD in the movie.
Yeah, just a huge like LeBron infomercial, like right out the gate. Which is, I mean, it's his movie basically, so it makes sense.
All right, we got to talk Top Shot. So. There have been a handful of things. I'm actually going to share my screen because I want to make sure everybody knows what's going on in the Top Shot world, because it seems like there's lots of different stuff going on. And I wanted to talk through a couple things. The first thing, if anybody did not see this, there is a Quavo Quest.
Yes.
They got announced today. And there was a Twitter post as well as a blog post about this, that, Quavo as a entity, as a person, he's part of the Migos. If you, some of those, I know there's a handful of boomers out in the audience today. He is a rapper of a group called Migos, which is, there we go. Anyway, so he's Atlanta based, which it's part of the reason why he has some of the favorites in there. But in order to do the Quavo Quest, you have to turn it off. Turn it off.
Is it too loud? I was enjoying that. That was a great time.
In order to do the Quavo Quest, which will it will allow you essentially a chance at an autographed jersey. 5 of those showcases will be chosen at random. So 5 jerseys, and 25 of them are going to get a legendary pack. I assume that's the legendary finals pack, which is coming out next week. We'll talk about that. So those are valued at like $7.99. There's going to be a legendary finals moment, minted to, I think 120 in them. There's 3 MGLEs. I mean, it's going to be, very plus EV in the grand scheme of things. So big money, 30 or, it's essentially 30 people hit the jackpot on this one. I'm pretty sure as well, you might be able to, you have to like do it by July 30th, which is 8 days away. We haven't talked about it on here, but one of the biggest features that is awesome about the showcase stuff that they just released is the capability of like adding directly to your showcase from your available collection. And in this case, they sort of tee it up for you. Hey, you need to have a Trae Young moment. Here are the Trae Young moments that you have from your collection to plug in. You'll notice
functionality.
You'll notice, Chugs, one thing about this, in the Trae Young moment thing. How many do I have available?
You got several.
I only have 4. I used to have like 28. I sold 19. I sold
quietly
19.
Offloaded.
Well, I don't have to announce it. We'll get into that. We'll get into that in a minute. But it's not a secret. I run the Plunge Father account with a group of people. It's not all of my money. We are at the end of our sort of like fund time frame that we were looking to do investment. Some people are going to keep their money in and we're going to continue on. Other people want to get cashed out. So we have to like liquidate to do a bunch of different stuff. Anyway, so it was happenstance today that I looked and saw that Trae Young was part of the Quavo Quest. Trae Young 824 movement, which I bought a shit ton of them at like $8, $9, $10, up to like $15 back in April and beyond. they were down to like $4 today, and then they all pumped because it's the cheapest Trae Young moment to do this challenge. And I'm like, great, okay, cool. I've probably broke not quite even on this stuff, but I only have a few Trae Youngs left. But I have a couple left. I'm going to keep one of them's for sale. This one's a nice cereal, but I have one more. I think we should just give it away. So if you're in the chat, we're going to give away this Trae Young moment right now. If you're interested in doing the Quavo Quest, I think it's only like $9, but still, if you don't have one, you don't have to buy one. So what I need everybody in the chat to type, and I'll stop sharing my screen, is to be eligible for this 14,862 out of 35,000. I need everybody in the chat to type Quavo, Quavo. You're familiar with the stream. Can't make it. Subscribers only can win, but I can give people that subscribe a little extra luck. Thank you already to Slarm and Jeremy and a couple others that have subscribed and re-upped their subscription to the stream. It does help us out.
Quavo spelled Quavo, fellas.
Quavo.
Seeing a couple.
Sorry, I said Quavo. Quavo.
And when you type it, you have to just yell offset.
Offset.
Or skirt.
Right.
Drip drop.
No one else will hear you, but wherever you are, I think you gotta shout it out.
Raindrop. Drop top. Goo and a pop. Skirt. All right, Quavo.
One thing. I guess keep doing what you're doing with the giveaway, but the one thing about this legendary pack that I think is really interesting is that they're not doing the even split on packs at the tiers. They are juicing it like hell for the higher end collectors.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. I'll pull up the blog post where it talks about it, and which I think is a direct reflection of some of the commentary that was made about the first time they iterated with it. Looks like we have 52 eligible users. There are 100 people in the chat, so there's 40 of you that either don't care about Trae Young or whatever. But we're gonna roll it, and Fran Millionaire is our winner. Fran Millionaire, hit me up in DM. On Twitter or on Discord with your Top Shot username, and I will send over that Trae Young to you. All right, so let's talk about this Quavo challenge. Though I think the interesting thing and one piece of commentary about this, I think they are going to do a lot of this in the same way that McDonald's does Travis Scott meals, and there are a bunch of different entities out there that leverage sort of influencer / marketing things to promote product and giveaways. They're going to find tons of creative ideas to engage with people that are curious and care about Top Shot, that are across popular culture in general. It's all well and good to try and tap NBA fans, right? But I think there is bigger pieces there, and I think they probably want a more diverse cross section of collectors than they currently have, and I think this is sort of hinting at that in some way. So I don't know what your thoughts on that are, if this is a step in the right direction, if you're I could care less, but I think this is sort of an indicator that they are more interested in leveraging the pop culture phenomenon outside or related to the NBA, not just through players.
Yeah, I'm all in on this, right? The diversity of collectors should only continue to get greater. That's part of the reason that makes the NBA so great, right? There's a common thread between all walks of life. If you've never been to a game, if you've been to a game, if you grew up playing basketball, if you didn't, I think that's the beautiful part of it. And I can only hope, right, it continues to get more diverse. Even I was starting to think even people who don't have any ties to basketball, but other than being fans, if they're to do, a quest around that, I think that'll be really cool. Even if it's people we've never heard of, but if it brings people into Top Shot, if you put your account valuation aside, for a second, that's cool. And it's hard to do, right? To think but I think it's good for the platform and good for us, just all going forward.
I agree.
Yeah. I'm 100% as well. I think these are the kind of activations that are totally the future path of like, I think back to the Sean Parker quote, like the Justin Timberlake as Sean Parker talking about Facebook when he's like, $1 million isn't cool. You know, it's cool. $1 billion.
Billion
Like
dollars.
like this is that kind of like thinking and application, right? Like we got a pretty cool thing here. We got several 100,000 people. We got, you know, a lot of, you know, we can get a lot of buzz kind of when we want to with certain things, but like these are the kinds of crossover promotions or whatever you want to call them that I mean, I think they need to do these all the time, frankly. Like I don't, and honestly, when you're a guy like Quavo, like that's probably just like a fun thing for him to do. Like what's it to him to like get more people, you know, getting to know who he is or whatever. And, you know, kind of enhancing his profile as well in kind of an alternative way, probably gets him in a little gets him some crypto networking, you know, channels as well. So like it can be mutually beneficial for the kind of like the creators that are on one side, and then the platform that's trying to grow beyond just kind of like crypto nerds and basketball nerds. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think so it's not that hard to read between the lines on what they're trying to do here. Right. So when you hear and have heard in the past, Roham, I don't know if I said Roham,
Right.
and everyone else talk about onboarding, right? Like the sticky stuff is packs and getting on the marketplace. This makes you do both, right? It says, hey, you get your pack, you can only get one. But if you want to complete this challenge in order to get a Quavo signed jersey or one of these dope legendary packs, which you essentially have a next to no chance to get otherwise because of the way that they've structured the queues, if you want a shot at this, go buy these 10 moments of high quality players that are across different like tiers and levels. You can, you know, if you're going to search for a Trae Young, you can find the $9 one, or you can ratchet up to the, you know, out of 7,500, or you can ratchet up to, I guess in theory, you could get the Hollow Icon Challenge reward. That's like a quadrillion, or was a quadrillion dollars at whatever time that first Hollow Icon Challenge that was like $96,000 to complete or whatever it was, some stupid number. But this is, you do both. This is how we onboard people, get them to buy a pack and purchase on the marketplace right away, is to do this. So I think there's going to be a lot more of this. I think it's genius. For a lot of us, it's great because we can do it without thinking. I actually don't have all of the moments required. Like I only have one LeBron. I only have one KD.
You're going to do it though, right? Are you?
Yeah, I'm going to do it. Okay. And I'll probably do it.
Of course you are.
Of course I'm going to do it. Like free, everybody loves free shit. It's like, might as well.
And they're not players that you're mad about, right? No. You're not like, ooh, I've got to go buy LeBron. Like, what am I going to do when I get caught holding the bag of LeBron? You're like, no, we'll find a time.
That's I had 8 out of the 10. I needed another KD and another Giannis. So I was like, for sure, I'm doing this. Absolutely. Also, one thing for the people watching, if you are unfamiliar with Quavo, not to put it in context in terms of like what kind of get this is and sort of like the music, you know, music scene or whatever. I looked up Migos on Spotify. They've got 23 million monthly listeners, and Quavo's part of Migos. Quavo himself is 7 million plus monthly listeners, and he's featured on like a zillion like top 40 type like song of the summer type songs that you've probably heard a million times before. You just don't even realize it. Like Quavo, like it's not like Drake per se or like, you know, Kanye West or something, but like this is an A-list artist, like musician that they've pulled in my opinion. And I'm not saying like, I'm saying in terms of like cultural relevance, popularity. I'm not saying like I think he's like an A-list artist per se, but like in terms of relevance, like this is a very, very relevant figure. This isn't like, no offense, no slander to like any of the NBA players that have been brought in to like kind of do Top Shot stuff. This would be the equivalent of like an all-star like basketball player like latching on to this, in my opinion. Like this, he's a top end, very, 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 very relevant musician. Or rapper, whatever you want to say.
I was gonna say he is like a kind of leader of the Atlanta like trap rap scene.
Right.
Like which I mean has opened doors for Drake, and Drake's definitely like bit that style for tracks and like projects he's put out. And so yeah, I'm with you, Chugs. Like this is a big name, from the metrics all the way down to like the culture. Like this is someone that's well respected.
Right. Well, and that's
now.
the other thing about the NBA that like it's kind of like in Top Shot, it's sort of divorced from like the cultural aspect of the NBA. One of the biggest things about the NBA, like when I think about me being a fan of it pre-Top Shot, was this nonstop cycle of like players moving teams, or there's all these narratives that were just as interesting off the court as they were on the court. And like, I mean, there's now like, you know, cameras on like what dudes are wearing walking into stadiums and stuff like that. Like the NBA has established this kind of like almost like lifestyle brand unto itself that branches out beyond the court. And so it's cool to see Top Shot like you know, and I'm not saying finally like, oh, it's too late or something or slow to do it. Like they had other things to worry about, but like the fact that they are starting to like embrace that aspect of the NBA is really cool, because the other leagues, like the NFL obviously is a juggernaut unto its own, but like the NBA has this weird sort of like cultural relevance that maybe it only lives on Twitter or in like social platforms, but they do have this weird kind of global cultural relevance that there's no reason Top Shot not to tap into that kind of stuff just constantly.
So what are the chances we can get Quavo on next week?
I mean,
Quavo and Crypto Babe.
I'm in Memphis. Atlanta's not that far. I could maybe, you know, I could get John Morant to maybe holler at him or something. Get him over.
1 in 10 T-Wolves. Yeah. I think I could make it happen.
Slide into the DMs. You never know.
I mean,
yeah.
0.1%. I have worse odds of getting a pack.
So that was the crazy thing about my finals odds, right?
Yeah, super low.
I've never gotten a rare pack. I got a premium pack. I've been in every queue since January, every single one. Like back to the one that bugged out, and I like my odds were so much in that favor to just one time get a rare pack. Like I just didn't believe the email. I was like
pack
those
looks
are the
real
odds.
thing.
Yeah,
we're that's the next project for Greg that I'm tasking him with. Is he did the collector like challenge reward luck.
Yeah,
we're going to try and quantify with live token data pack luck. And pack luck is tough because you can't quantify everybody that's been, like whether or not they were actually there and whether or not they were eligible in the time and all of that. But we can tell from if you opened a pack from a particular drop, like all the way back through. So anyway, that we're going to, there's some hoops to jump through on that one. But I also had a shower thought last night that I sent to Jacob in DM this morning, or it was this morning. I sent to Jacob. He hasn't responded to me. I think it would be incredible content to do a like series 1 and series 2, like through the packs type of stream that sort of went through, because they've got 1 million packs in the vault, right? Like they should go pack by pack, starting chronologically the oldest and going all the way through and talking about like new moments that they introduced and like what they were trying and why, you know, how the artwork was generated, and just do giveaways, right? Like, hey, we're going to crack this pack and like highlight the different music that came out of each of the packs. I think it would be whether or not it was like a series of videos or it was like a couple like streams in a row. I think that would be incredible content.
And they could even if it's just a few packs, right? Like
no, I'm thinking like everything. Like
you want to see everything.
I want to see like, you know, if they have packs in the vault from it, like I want to start to finish, and maybe not like a base set 37 and 38 and 39, like, but at least all of the
good stuff.
Yeah, I think I would watch the shit out of that. Pack cracks are the best, right? Like I love ripping packs, and you could even bring on guys like LG or, you know, Steph Pseudo or, you know, blockchain baller Steve or, highlight all of these different creators in the space and bring them in to talk about it and like rip a pack and do, you know, you could even do like a social thing where you like jump from stream to stream to do those things, but have like, because it sort of tells the oral history of the series through beta, right? And where they were going, why they made choices that they did. You know, I think you could do really cool stuff with that. So anyway, I sent that to Jacob. If he's watching this at any point in the future, hit me up. I'm happy to help you.
I think that's actually a great idea. You didn't. That's something. Usually, I'm pretty much in your head all the time, like in a great kind of way. Usually, I'm hearing the inner monologue in a DM somewhere, and I haven't heard that one. That's awesome. I like that idea, man. I think that'd be so cool.
It would be cool.
Just to, I mean, honestly,
they could just do so much video content out of it.
Yeah, like, and you do it as like an off season, kind of like when stuff's slow and there isn't much attention on actual games, where you just roll through and it's like a season wrap type deal, and you get folks like us that are willing to kind of like jump in there and talk about all the different features or whatever. Bring in the artists themselves, or the people whoever cut the track, like Caruso cut the track
or
for this
Austin,
show, like somebody,
right? Or Austin that wrote some of the copy, and like, we chose these moments because they were this significant, or like you hear the Top Shot debuts that came out, like, this was the first one for this, this was the first pack that this moment was there for. Anyway, there's
nuances, right? Like the 824, like how long did that moment live before the community realized, like he points to it and it's an ode, right?
We spotted it on the show. I don't want to take credit or have Plunge take credit, but
it wasn't me. Someone else pointed it out to me.
Yeah, somebody else.
But how much detail, right? Like the detail to pick, like it would be sweet to hear someone talk. I'm sure there's stuff we're missing, right? Like the Easter eggs that exist in moments, like wild. And actually, that was the Top Shot team was saying, like, seeing all, because they have like a bird's eye view, right, of all the like showcases that people have. And it's like all the weird stuff that people collect for, like that you would just never guess, that they can kind of see and like pick out collectors who are like, looking at, like someone's trying to get the stat line of players each game in a serial, right? Like how
zip codes or area codes or whatever.
Yeah.
Birth years.
I've seen that, but like, that's like having that interaction with like how the pack came to be I think is incredible. And like how many of us would come out of whatever NFT we're in, or out of whatever we're doing in our life, to like see that on video content, like,
and especially if they did giveaways related to it. Like they've got 1 trillion of these in the vault. Like, hey, on today's episode, we're going to do the, from the top set and
give it away.
They're going to we're 3 lucky collectors. If you're in the Twitch stream, like they could do,
right.
They could just sell it out immediately. Like it just gets so much engagement, and like, I don't know. I feel like they could do a lot with that, to engage with people, to not only like, because people came in at different times, right? Like, and not everybody was here and has the capability. Like you were saying, I've never cracked a rare pack until recently. Like not everybody can do that, but seeing those things in real time, or like a retrospective, would be a really cool thing as like a year in review. Anyway, that's my idea. Jacob, hit me up. Dumbo, hit me up. With this one, I do want to hit at this though. So based on the feedback, I think from the last pack of like equal queues, so the legendary Hollow Icon 3 pack went out. They had priority queues for excuse me, there's the rare pack. It was and then there were 4. They did the priority one, right? Yeah. So they had 2,000 in the priority 1, 2,000 in the priority 2, and then 2,000 in the general. But they're skewing it pretty heavily towards the high collector score. So there are only 10,000 or 1,200 total packs, but they're only, they're reserving 120 of them. But 1,080 packs, they will have a legendary finals moment. So I assume if there's 10, it'll be like essentially the starting 5. So with the Bucks, that'll be Giannis, Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, Lopez, and probably Bobby Portis, if we're being honest.
Kind of want a PJ.
Was he a starter?
Yeah, PJ. Well, maybe not, but
who was
or they're gonna do 2 challenges with it, which is very possible, just like they do with the Hollow Icon challenges, and make Giannis and Chris Paul the rewards.
Did they do a finals challenge though last year? I don't think they did. I think the finals set was just 10 players and there wasn't any challenge. I think it was the 5. Yeah, it was 5 starters on each side.
I mean, but they did 2 different sets for Eastern Conference and Western Conference final. Like,
it could be all different. You're right, but
there was no mention of challenge in the blog. You're right, Matt, Mike. I would not be surprised if they did that, because it gives them 2 more moments, 4 players. It gives them another opportunity to engage people for longer. with collecting those things. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. And if that's the case, it's 100% going to be the Giannis dunk, like the Jrue Holiday, Giannis, alley.
Not the block. It'd be the dunk.
It'd be the dunk. Well, unless they made that the Jrue Holiday assist,
or they double
or
dip.
the
Yeah.
steal,
Yeah, they double down on it.
which would be really
Or
smart.
Was there particularly a clutch bucket in the clincher game? I mean, he dropped 50, but it was like not like
Middleton hit the clincher, like
that jumper. That jumper he hit with like 45 seconds left to go up like 8 or whatever it was. That was the shot that iced the game without a doubt. Which, by the way, fun fact here, which I've ripped this from I think Chris Vernon is the one who actually said it. He said it before the clincher game that it's something crazy. Like Chris Middleton, he's hit more like to tie the game or to go ahead in a game in the playoffs than like the list of it is incredibly short of like who's done it, like 16, 17 times or whatever. And he's like right up there with like the greats in terms of hitting like clutch buckets. Like
he's Kobe.
And he's like the boring guy nobody likes to talk about or whatever, but like he showed up big time.
Fun fact I learned today that Chris Middleton went to Texas A&M. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So thank you, Warren, and everybody else mentioning Kendrick Caldwell or Kentavious Caldwell Pope was the finals reward last year, which is why we don't remember it. So I mean, it's possible. I think it's very likely that they're going to do challenge rewards for it. It makes sense. So anyway. Other Top Shot stuff. Anything else before we? I think I need to give something else away. Chugs, you got anything to give away?
I mean,
I'm not going to put you on the spot.
I could throw something out. One thing that I was curious about, and I mean, you've got your screen up. I don't know if you could pull up like a price wall on just like a random like pick a Bucks player or whatever. Usually, like one of the phenomenons that you see at the end of like when your team wins a title, like they come out with the merch, like the champ merch, right? Like it's all out there. In Top Shot, like Johnny on the Spot, they had the badges out like right away for when the Bucks won the title. Like I can speak from experience. Like LSU won the national championship. Like fuck yeah, I'm buying the hat for $40 and I'm buying the shirt or whatever. Like I'm getting all the swag that I want for it. Like, was there any remotely like irrational buying going on with Bucks moments like as they clinched, right? Like were people just like gobbling up the floor or not? I don't necessarily know if that's true. I didn't look it up. I haven't really had the time to like
I think they did
check that out, but I was curious to see if that really happened.
I think some of it happened before. So for anybody that doesn't know, this is Add More Funds. It's a nice way to look at these types of things. So let's look at one that has massive sales volume.
Just a Giannis.
Yeah. Let's look at the 7-day listings though. So it's hard because the dispersion's weird, but yeah. So they clinched on the night of it's Tuesday, right? It's the 20th. So yeah, like in here, 809. So it's like right in here. Yeah. So this is the wall that gets built. I'm going to try and remove the outliers. Yeah. So there it is. Yeah. So this all
a little bit. Yeah. A little bit there.
It moved. I bought on the way up. I was thinking it would go a little further. Dumbly. Like I just was excited. I think that the finals was ending and
there you go.
Like
see, exactly. That's exactly.
But it definitely the floor lifted a little. It came back really quick. I'm sure as that distribution kind of shows, like it fell back down like by the end of the night.
Here it is.
I guess also to that end, maybe it would have been more pronounced. I'd venture to say that if it was a higher profile team, like let's be honest, like the Bucks aren't necessarily like some big national like whatever. You didn't pay attention to the NBA till like 4 months ago.
Hey, don't hate.
Anyway, I wonder though, like if it was the Lakers or like if it was like the Knicks or something, like would their moments just get gobbled up? And then the other particular one, look up Jordan Nwora.
Yeah.
He's the only 5 Badger. I casually looked and I saw his moment was like $100 and it was actually down from where it was like You know,
I have one. It was wild. It was wild.
Yeah.
I pulled one in a pack, and
It
like at the
ran
time,
and
I'm
ran.
like, that was the rookie I got. Like it, you know, I was like, this could have been a LaMelo or like a Halliburton, and then
How many minutes did Jordan Nwora have in the playoffs?
It's a great question. He did.
He's got
I think
5
he did
badges
play.
though.
Well, so that's the thing is like, is it
He's
just
the
the
only
recency
one, right?
bias of all
I
these
think it's
badges?
the only one, right?
Like eventually, like to your point, Chugs, like another team will win next year, and odds are,
Well, they have a
one of the
rookie.
teams, right?
They
They have a
will.
rookie, but even like all
They
the
will.
moments that come up, like everything's gone up a little from the floor. Like we'll see.
What I'm curious to see is if time would tell over the years, like if Chris Paul would have won, would a player like that, would his moments that have the title badge on it be more important than like the Top Shot debut badge or something? Now, granted, at this point, the Top Shot debut would be a lower count, but like, would you prefer like Chris Paul MGLE on the Suns 499 count with the title badge, or Chris Paul like common OKC Series 1? Like, I don't know. Like, I kind of like the title one is much more relevant for him, like in terms of legacy and all that kind of stuff, even though the other one that counts, or I guess the MGLE that counts 499 is still lower than a common that's like 1,000 something. But you get what I'm saying though. Like there's this huge premium on just the Series 1, you know, or debut type stuff. Like I feel like if it was like first title for like a really big player, even though it's not like his rookie year or it's a debut, like I'd have to think that that's gotta matter. But tell me I'm wrong if either of you guys disagree.
I mean, the Giannis, I think any MGLEs are really interesting, right? Top Shot talks I've been in, but I think also like just like the out of 15K, right? Before they upped the CC, like that's an interesting argument, right? To think about, like, and let's talk like 10 years, like medium longer term, which on NFTs and Top Shot doesn't exist yet, but it will eventually. Like that's an interesting point. Like if you were to join, do you want a Giannis championship moment or do you want that first badge?
Or Chris Paul, or
it's not even close.
The one
it's not even
Chris,
close that I would rather have an S1 MGLE. I mean, just look at this. You're looking at like MGLE from Giannis's S1, which is his rookie debut is, or his rookie badge is in the run it back set. Like the market cap on this is like, even with the badge, right? Even with this is six times what it is in S1. Like it's not even close.
We're also looking today. I mean, you could like, if Giannis never wins a title ever again, and he's got another 12 years of Top Shot moments, are you going to want the title?
I also forgot. Hold on. I forgot that the Top Shot account owns like 170 of these. So the real circulation is actually like, so it's probably 3 times because there's only like half the supply that's out.
I think
Thank you for Z Swish 54 for calling me out.
Chris Paul would have been the unique example of it because his Series 1 is on a different team that was a one-time stop, almost like a random blip in his career. Whereas if you would have gotten a title with the Suns, it would have been sort of like a defining moment for him. Yeah. And when you think, I mean, I don't know if like Cardboard would value that differently or not, like the card folks or whatever. But I'm curious to see how that'll play out over time.
I agree, and Mikey, that's a good point. Like it would have been a capstone moment for winning the championship. I think we all think Giannis has more in him. Like he can win it again,
100%.
I wouldn't be surprised if Giannis ends up with 2 or 3 championships, maybe even more if they get more pieces around him. I tend to agree with Simmons. If you guys listen to Bill Simmons, I think they need to get better next year in order to compete because they got real lucky. The Nets are going to be better. In theory, Philly gets better if they get rid of Simmons and pick up some pieces there. So I don't know. I think they're going to have a tougher road next year. And the same thing with the Suns as well. Like they really lucked out having, injuries for the Clippers, injuries for the Nuggets, and the Jazz.
Didn't have to play the Lakers at all.
They didn't. Well, yeah. So it's
Or
no, they played the Lakers in the first round.
yeah, I was like, wait a
Yeah,
minute.
they got lucky because everybody got hurt.
Yeah, injured Lakers.
Yeah, so we'll see. Anyway, though, we're coming up. We're a little over an hour here. Top Shot Talk. We do have other people that we're going to bring on as guests and talk through some other stuff and shift gears here. But Fun Guy, I want to say thank you for coming on, explaining and talking through this all with us. Really appreciate your insight, and hope you have a good off season. I'll see you out there in the Discord streets. But anything you want to plug or where people can follow you, if you care to have people follow you and all that?
No, I made a Top Shot Twitter finally. But by no means we'll see how far that gets me. At FunGuy95 NFT, I think I'll try and post some more stuff. But no, thanks for having me, Plunge. It's actually funny. I think when I got the email, sometimes I put the stream on. I run it back when I'm driving from LA to San Diego, which I do quite often. And this might have been what was playing, I think, when the email got sent to me that I won. So
cool.
Appreciate the
that's awesome
coming on, and I enjoy the content from you guys. I gotta chop up fraud with Taylor one of these days. Yeah. Run back to the Vegas Dave article.
Oh man, the good stuff. All right, well, we're going to send you off. And what we're going to do here is we're going to take a quick break so I can use the bathroom. And, I'm going to use the bathroom quick and grab another beer or two. When we come back, we're going to be talking more about NFTs outside of Top Shot. We have a guest. Her name is Sarah. She is a developer and wrote a very interesting tweet a couple weeks ago that sort of made the rounds on NFT Twitter, analyzing smart contracts for different generative avatar projects. So we're going to talk to her a little bit about what she does, what her insight is into the crazy last month or 2 or 3 or 4 in the NFT space from her perspective, talk about a couple projects that have come out this week. And then towards the end of the show, we're going to bring in Lorax, who, if you've seen the first mint last week, he is a gentleman and a scholar. He's fantastic.
Quite the character.
He just launched his NFT project with his team this week called Poi Pup Colony. So we're going to do some giveaways with that as well. So stick around. We're going to do a little interlude and then we'll be right back.
I don't care. I don't care. No sympathy. Don't care. I don't care. I just don't care. I'm sorry.
Oh, hello. We're back. And by we, I mean me. Before we get Chugs and Sarah back on, I do want to do one more giveaway. We're going to do one more Top Shot giveaway. Sarah, don't worry about it. You don't have to run. I'm going to do a quick Top Shot giveaway before we bring you in. So what I need, I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm going to give away. I was going through my collection the other day. I think I'm going to give away one of my MGLEs that I have. So what we're going to do, it's going to be a Darius Garland, 428 out of 499. It's this guy right here. So this lovely MGLE, we were talking about MGLEs. So we're going to go ahead and give this guy away to someone in the chat. Again, we really appreciate all the subscriptions and all that. So what we're going to do in the chat, I just want to put, I want everybody to put Darius in the chat, and we will go ahead and give that away. That MGLE, Darius in the chat. Darius, Darius in the chat. Darius, type it again, even if you did. And once we do that, we'll bring Chugs and we're going to bring Sarah on here to talk in a minute about some NFT stuff right after we do this giveaway. But everybody, Darius in the chat, we got 15 seconds left, and then we will go from there. So 10 and 5. Darius, Darius, and let's roll it. Edger and Flames. I know that name. Edger and Flames. Winner, chicken dinner. I know where to find you, but DM me your Top Shot username as well. Sarah, welcome to the plunge-in. I'm not sure if you
two guys in basketball jerseys.
Yes.
What's up?
I'm so excited to be here. Your show's so interesting. I can't believe you're having a coder on after that chat.
So we're in an interesting world. Can we just high level? So background, in case you're not super familiar with my show and Chug's show, and what we do and who we are, we got into Top Shot in January and caught the bug. And then we caught the NFT bug. And we have been sort of on Twitter and doing a Twitch stream for, the better part of 5 or 6 months at this point. But we started getting heavier into other projects and NFTs and just like the Twitterverse in general.
Sex NFTs, I heard.
Oh my God.
Great. Yes. Comma Gang.
Have you seen it?
I did. I saw, yes, I saw the ass eating one. That was pretty impressive.
So fair enough. And it's not for everybody, right? Like in the same way that, erotica or,
well, it wasn't like hot. It was like Lego characters.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Everybody was making those jokes like, oh, you're going to go off into, you're going to go off into the bathroom and use do you know what the internet has? Like,
oh my God. Yeah.
If you think I'm going to, anyway, long story short, we actually talked about this project months ago. Like it was in April or May, I think, that we talked about it on this stream, and I'm surprised. I think I went back and looked. All of the streams get saved to YouTube. It was still up. I was surprised that it didn't get censored or something like that. But anyway, long story short, we talked about it back then, and then I saw that they had removed the bonding curve on the minting, and I was like, I wouldn't have done it back then because of the way that it was structured. They actually gave a really good explanation in the Discord. I went in there and sort of hopped back in after seeing it. I think Scaly Nelson probably posted it. And then I sort of hopped back on, but it was like the very in thing at that point. Like when they had launched their NFT, like bonding curves were just normal. And then people realized that they hated it. And, it became out of fashion from a structural perspective from a project launch. And I think it was a pretty significant reason that they didn't take off. And then, I started tweeting about it and posting about it in Discords, and I was like, I'm minting the shit out of these. And then it sold out in 24 hours. So
it's sold out in 24 hours after they removed the bonding curve.
No. They removed the bonding curve on July 11th.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't even, so I follow them, but I didn't see the tweet. Thanks, Twitter algorithm, whatever. So I think the timing of it was Scaly posted something. I don't know if you know Scaly Nelson, like Punk5182 or something like that on Twitter. He's got the white hair CryptoPunk. That's how I recognize him. But he said, "Oh my God, Comma Gang," and I was like, "Oh shit!" They're like, I forgot about that. I remember that, and I went and looked. I was like, "Where? Oh shit, the bonding curve's gone." And I had just come into some ETH through some sales or whatever, and I was like, "Oh, I'll go mint one." And I minted 2, and it was I think I minted number 480 and 481.
You minted 2 and sold 1 for 3,500.
No, I minted 3 more later, and then one of the 3 later that I hit.
Still, you're good at NFTs.
He just kept hitting it.
It's bad. It's bad.
I've done that with projects and not ended up with a $3,500 win.
It's by far the biggest win that I've ever had. Like in the same, we talk about Top Shot and packs, and I don't know if you know Top Shot at all, but I
learned so much about it tonight. I don't even have an account. I feel bad. I'm going to make one after this.
You should.
So thank you for the education.
Yeah, no problem. If you need any help, let me know. We're bringing new people into the Top Shot space.
Yeah.
But one of the big things about when these things start to go, I mean, it's a human sociology experiment when you start to see traction on projects, and you can see it in real time if you're paying attention. And I mean, I literally only tweeted 1 or 2 things. And full disclosure, and there's been a lot of chatter over the last couple days about advertising, paid, unpaid, all this stuff. I have never from any project ever gotten paid to promote anything. People have given me things to give away or as like a thank you for being a good friend or whatever, but like never, hey, I will give you this if you do this. Like I just have stayed away from that for philosophical reasons. And frankly, I don't want to be beholden to anyone. But when I see projects like that like excite me, I'm like an outward person. Like I share everything and kind of an external monologue. Anyway, long story short, tweeted about it a bunch of times, started hammering a bunch of people in Discords. Like, how funny is this? This is awesome. They're back. And it just went, pew, and like overnight they were sold out. And I woke up in the morning. I was like, are you kidding me? This whole thing sold out. You know, they went from 450 minted or whatever it was to 31, however many they have. You know, so like, and at 0.09 ETH, it was like 240 ETH they made in like 24 hours. So 10 ETH a minute or 10 ETH an hour.
Plunge flywheel, man. I mean, I ended up
minting. It wasn't just me. I mean, like I only minted 5, right? But exposure to these types of things and positive reaction.
Having strong influencers back the project.
True. And it does.
I'm calling you a strong influence. No, it does. Like a compliment.
No, it does. It does. And that said, like there's tons of stuff that I've liked and posted about that has had zero traction as well. So like there has to be I think, in my opinion, like a confluence of good project, good art, hopefully strong team, and then hashtag roadmap, hashtag utility, hashtag whatever you want, right?
Hashtag DAO.
Hashtag DAO.
Do you have a DAO?
Whatever. But what is really curious to me, and
do they have a DAO? Is there a sex DAO?
They have tokens that they're going to be doing. I think comma tokens. Anyway, long story short. But one of the things that I didn't realize back then, and after seeing your tweet, like 2 weeks ago, really perked me up was like, hey, there is actually talent that you can derive or you can infer from a development perspective on who's pushing the boundaries and who's doing cool stuff, not just in, hey, what is my project going to do down the line, but like, how did they become NFTs in the first place? So I'm curious, like, what is your background, and how did you get into the NFT space? And so can you give us a little, who are you? What's the spark notes on Sarah?
Sure. I've been a coder my whole life, only recently getting into smart contract coding. I started on Gitcoin. Not sure if you guys have heard of that, but it's a place where you can do bounties. So I started just doing little bounties, mostly NFT ones, because they were easier than trying to do like DeFi bounties, which are very difficult. And after I won a few, I was like, okay, let's go do this for real. So a couple of friends and I put together our own NFT project called Stoner's Rock, which has not sold out, but hopefully after appearing on this super show.
Let's get a link. What's the
website?
Stonersrock.com.
Let's figure this out. Stoner's Rock. Got this. So, and was this a generative?
So full disclosure for everybody, we're not being paid. There's no advertisement here.
No, this is live and
Stoner's Rock.
And it's a generative. You mint it, and you're gonna get what you get.
Yeah,
just like
generative rock.
I saw that. I actually saw this, and I fucking love it because the price is 0.04 to 420.69. The royalties are 420.69.
Yes,
the reserved rocks are 420. Like all of the references are so on point in this.
Oh my god! I don't know
thing.
if you saw it today. Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis are coming out with Stoner Cats, and they have 10,420. I was look, jacked by Ashton. That's when you know you made it.
Cats. Well, and the other thing is, cats are. If you have figured this out lately, cats are like all the rage in NFTs. Apparently,
they're more popular than rocks for sure.
True story. I'm allergic to cats. Like definitely allergic.
SEO is trash, by the way.
Yeah, their SEO is not strong. I found it because
trash. Beanie
was posting about what a terrible project it was, so that's how I found out it was from
Beanie is FUD. So you started this back when?
Well, we launched on International Rock Day, July 13th.
This is fantastic. I love this.
It's so themed. Everything is very themed. But we haven't sold out, and I don't know why. I think we didn't get big influencers behind us.
You didn't pay me.
I didn't pay you enough. I do have some rocks. I'm happy to give one away to your listeners if you want to.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
Let's do it. Let's
they'll
do a
have
rock
to.
giveaway.
They'll have to DM me their.
Yeah, we'll get it. We're very
ETH
skilled
address.
at gathering ETH addresses from people.
Yeah, I'd love to give
That's how
away
we
a rock.
roll.
Let's do it. Yeah, dude, I'm all about that. So, what do you want them to type in the chat? We'll
Hey,
give
give
it
a code word.
420. You gotta type 420.
Okay. Everybody type
There we
420. I did not know that you were bringing giveaways. This is lovely. I'm so excited.
I kind of knew she had a project. I didn't want to. I wanted to let it be a nice surprise. I'd already researched. I'd already looked into this. I'd already seen it. This is great.
Oh man, this is such a pleasant surprise for me.
I hope you're stoners, and that's why you enjoy it so much.
I've got 2 kids under 5, and
So do I.
Yeah, it's not. My wife would not take too kindly to it. I partake every once in a while.
All right. Well, that's the only way I can survive 2 kids under 5. So.
I got you. All right. So everybody, 420 in the chat. We're gonna roll it. Here we go.
Free rock.
Dip them in beef is the name.
Dip them in beef.
Dip them in beef.
Dip
What a
'em in
name!
beef has one.
That person
away.
sounds like they deserve it.
So I'm pretty sure Dip 'em in beef is Backyard Dick Karate 69 on Discord. I'm not.
I heard that name earlier. When we go to meetups, he's gonna say, "Yo, what's up? I'm Backyard Dick Karate."
So whoever, hey, it is Backyard Dick Karate. Okay, Backyard Dick Karate 69. DM me on Discord your ETH address. I'll send it along to Sarah, and then we'll get that stoner rock to you. So you started this project, like you launched it in July. What does the process look like for you to like get to the point of being able to even launch it?
So there's a lot of code. First of all, the artist draws all the different pieces, right? And then the developer has to find a way to smash them up generatively and make sure there's no errors. So you don't have like noses overlapping mouths and stuff like that. Once you have all the imagery set, then you go over to the smart contract and start figuring out your tokenomics or however you want to do it. That's basically what the thread I wrote about was.
Mm-hmm.
And then you launch. So yeah, I don't know how much
awesome.
detail you want to hear about code, but that's probably good enough for your audience.
One thing I was curious about, like with this generative stuff, like you see a lot of projects where rarity and therefore value is basically like, if it can be the most unrecognizable shit possible, just like all thrown in there, like therefore that's like the best thing, and there's no real like there's like no curation per se. Is there a point where like if you're the coder and like you're like running, you're coding this thing out or you're seeing iterations or whatever, and I'll drop the project, I'll say the project that I'm kind of referring to, the Misfits U thing, where like, is there any kind of like, hey, there's like a 1% chance that like something really fucking bad pops out. Like
we had that problem because we gave all the rocks unique names based on weed strains. So I went to Leafly and I got like White Widow and Purple Urkel and all these things. And then if you mix them up, there's a possibility you could get White Urkel. And I was like, I don't know if I really want to let some of those things slide through, right? Or whatever. So we ended up having to cut words that we thought would be, hey, Cannabis 420, what's up? We ended up cutting words that we thought could cause controversial names. And then we hard-coded ones we didn't want to miss. So Purple Urkel was hard-coded, but I didn't let Urkel fly free. And any people's names, I thought that would be kind of weird. But
sure.
Yeah,
so you definitely were paying attention to that kind of thing for sure.
Yeah, and this was after Misfits U, so we knew what could go horribly wrong. But I think they knew they had duct tape as a attribute. Like
for sure.
That was not like an accidental thing. Like they let that fly, So
yeah, you can't plead ignorance on that one. Yeah, and talking with Lorax and a couple of other folks in the Poi Puppy group are going to come on and talk later. I know that you see a lot of these different combinations. Like you test mint a bunch of stuff to see what comes up and all of these different things and review them. We talked with the Cool Cats folks about this a couple weeks ago when they were on the stream just after they sold out, and they talked about, you know, different attributes that didn't look good together, as you mentioned, or, you know, just really didn't jive, and so they sort of like tried to remove those elements as well. But I'm curious, like from a, you know, in the process of writing the smart contract yourself for this project, is that when you started digging in on all of these other projects into their smart contract? Is that sort of where the iteration or that this tweet came from?
It is, exactly. So I started with Bored Ape Yacht Club because they were considered the absolute gold standard. But then there were like other things I wanted to do. Sorry. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say gold standard in terms of like code, or gold standard just like in cultural reference. You know what I mean?
At the time, nobody was talking about that. So I just sort of figured, since they were the biggest and the most beloved, that they would also have the best code. What I learned since is that it doesn't really translate so much. So some of these projects have excellent code and haven't taken off as much as other ones that are just boring, you know, with almost no innovation. So I think the art still wins over the code. Like, nobody's really buying these things because they have excellent smart contracts. But I was hoping I could maybe tip the scales a little bit so people might care.
Yeah, and one of the things I've seen in some of the controversy that's come up around certain things, and when things get torpedoed are when there are problems with the way that the drop is executed, or that the way that the traits are revealed, or whatever those things are, that like the technical details matter in a way.
Yeah, but plenty of these guys go through with leaky metadata, and they don't get caught for it because they sell out so fast.
Right, because nobody can catch up to it.
Yep, if you sell out in an hour, then nobody's going to know that your metadata was completely leaked, which I'm not going to name names, but some of the ones on this list had that, even, you know.
Yeah. And so for anybody in the chat that doesn't know what leaky metadata is, I know that we have some folks in here that aren't crypto savvy or may not have as much of a background as you do, or that like Chugs and I are like becoming conversational in. What do you mean by that? Like leaky metadata, or just in general, like a good code or a contract that's cool or that like is innovative in some way?
Sure. So let's do leaky metadata first. If it's possible for someone to see what's coming up before mint, then they could game the system and try to mint all the best, rarest stuff. And so we try very hard to keep our metadata from leaking so we don't have that problem.
When did that? So what was was it Cool Cats, Chugs? What was it was the one.
Fame Lady Squad got in trouble.
Oh, that's right.
Fame Lady was the one where you could 1000% just see like, okay, 6129 is going to be a fucking banger. Like try to buy 10 when you think that's
so
like
their solution to that was to just open it to everybody instead of trying to hide the metadata. They just opened it up, which is a solution, and they ended up selling out, so they did fine.
So one thing about that though, and that actually, you know, maybe we'll talk about this in more detail later, but the way that they had structured the data that they sent out to everybody and posted on their website was keyed off of a rareness calculation that they did internally that wasn't actually how rare the thing were. So it's like, oh, hey, they said it was, you know, my Fame Lady was like
the
16
boost or whatever. Yeah.
And it like, turns out that had nothing to do with the actual like statistical rarity.
So I know how that would happen. When we did ours for the rocks, for every attribute, we decided how rare we wanted it to be. So the spliff, for example, should be somewhat rare because they're cool. But then once you let the random generator go, you're going to get close to those numbers, but you're not going to get exactly those numbers. They're sort of just suggestions because at the end of the day, it's random. You're just suggesting how rare it should be. So I could imagine someone using their predefined rarity numbers to communicate to the community, but then at the end of the day, it's not the truth because the random generator took over and did something slightly different.
I think the big difference with that one was they essentially, and it was bad math. frankly.
Was it? I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
We
It was
pulled,
bad
yeah,
math.
we pulled
it all
and,
down.
Yeah,
And
we were like, this is just not right.
Yeah, it was not right.
Bad.
Even their pivot tables were off in terms of like there are this many of this and there's this percentage
Like basic
trait.
division.
They were wrong. Like
Oh,
just
they
flat out
posted an
wrong.
Excel spreadsheet that you could actually pull apart.
like a Google Doc.
Oh
I-
my god!
I will pat myself on the back though. I did successfully identify the number one rarest
You
one
did.
before
Did
it
you
was
mint
minted.
it? Did you
No.
mint
No,
it?
I didn't mint it, but I did identify it. I was like, this is the one that's going to be the number one, and it turned
Oh my
out
God.
it totally was.
Well, with that kind of like foreknowledge, you should be minting it for sure.
Yeah. Well, the thing is though, is when you're trying to time it, and this thing was racing at the time, so it's like what you're going to mint like 20 of them and hope that you got the block, where you got that chunk of fame ladies where you hit the one that you needed. But by the way, I minted a rock while we've been talking.
Thank you.
What'd you get?
I got grape runts.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
Seagulls in the background, a frown. I've got a frown joint mouth. I'm kind of a sad clown stoner, honestly.
You got a sad clown.
kind of a sad clown stoner. But I gotta say, I like the production value you got going here. Like you mint it, and some little reggae music starts playing. Little confetti drops when it's
That's
done.
dope.
It's a nice little experience for sure.
I think the mint process could be a joy. People could spend more time on making it fun. I've
We
done
like
some
ripping
where
past here.
you click mint and it just sits there, and then at the end it's like, go check OpenSea, and I'm like, ugh, you could have put a little more production value in.
If you like production value and rap music,
Reggae
you will
music.
love. Well, if you like rap music though, you will love Top Shot.
Oh, Top Shot. Ooh.
The pack opening, the production value of opening a pack of Top Shot moments is like by far the best part of Top Shot. It's awesome. It's so fun because it's like the music is like really vibey, and
they had to replace that feeling of cracking it, and
it's incredible.
Somehow they had to make it feel that way.
Yeah,
I'll try it for sure.
So hey, you could do the Quavo challenge if you would like. You can go get a pack right now, and
maybe I will, because
you should.
I'm such a fan of Quavo. He's pulling me in with his celebrity status.
You could get a legendary pack that's a $799 value that will have way more than $799 dollars worth of NFTs in it. So if you do need help though, for real, like hit me up. I'll help you out.
I'm pretty sure, like, not to get too much off that, but I'm pretty sure with Top Shot that it is set up to where you can walk in and like buy a base pack to just like get that experience like right out the gate. I'm almost positive it's set up that way now, right?
Yes.
In starter packs, yeah, it's like $9.
Even the starter packs have the good music.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, they got good little tunes there. But I gotta say though, the top one, I mean, Plunge, you can tell me I'm wrong here.
Do it live on. So when she's probably got to like connect a credit card. It would take too long to do that.
Yeah, it'd take a while.
Everybody's saying do it live on stream.
The hustle. Yeah, we'll get you back on to do it. But the hustle and show, the I don't stop until I break a sweat. Yeah, that's the track.
He's talking about a very specific.
I'm talking about a very
specific moments and very specific. Anyway.
Okay, so I'll set up a Top Shot account, and then you can direct me to the.
Stoner's Rock is that should be your Top Shot username,
without a doubt.
Okay.
So with the code thing, like you were saying, some like certain codes have no innovation; they're just like very basic. Is like almost like with NFTs, like the more is it inherently like the more complex the better, or is there like kind of a sort of curve where like if you can get more done with less, or like keep it simple, like is that also sort of a sign of like a clever good coder, or not coder, but like the code itself, like, you know what I mean? Like,
so
I think
all coders admire less lines of code, like,
right.
And I graded some at the end, and I gave, I think, Wicked Craniums a pretty high score because they had the shortest contract out of everyone.
Right.
So I don't fault them for not being more complex. I'm not really looking for complexity so much. Oh yeah, that's the short one, right? You can fit it all on one screen. It's just short and sweet. I guess what I judge more is a lot of them are just straight up copy pastes with like no changes whatsoever. And it's almost always the Bored Ape Yacht Club contract. So an example is Weird Whales is a
let's talk about Weird Whales.
Straight up copy paste, zero innovation. I'm totally gonna judge this 12-year-old for not like.
You want my whale?
Dude, I'm so pissed about the whales. Don't even get me started.
I screwed this one up. It was my fault.
I'm
Continue.
not going to judge him because he's a kid, so of course he's going to run.
Is he though?
I think he's real. I think we know he's real now.
He posted a YouTube video, and I did some recon on him that led me to believe he was real. I found some places on the test nets where he was running Hello Worlds, like the very first attempt at code. So he had run some test contracts under his account, which is exactly what you would do if you're a kid learning how to code. So yeah, his contract didn't have any extra innovation in it, but it worked and it was simple, and a 12-year-old did it. So he gets props for that.
I was absolutely convinced it was a catfish situation.
Were you? You were
100%.
I was convinced.
I was convinced the kid was real, but it was not the kid that was putting on this project. I thought someone had like pirated his social media accounts and like was posing as this kid who was actually a coding savant. And as a result, I told Chugs and our two other friends, Taylor and Greg, who had all bought in under the guise that like, hey, this 12-year-old did this thing. I was like, get out.
You told him to sell?
I told him to sell, and they sold it at 0.06. And then I bought one before I went to bed, and then it
just from my side of things. So I'd caught wind of this. I can't even remember who. I don't know if it was like Steve or I'd caught wind of it, and I was like, oh, 12-year-old, like kind of a historic thing, like little pixel whales are fine. So I was like, I'll mint, 0.025, whatever. Like I'll mint 2. So I minted 2 of them, and I actually got 2 cool ones. I got like the beanie hat. Like I got a beanie hat pipe one, and then I got a headband ape one. And I was like, oh, this is neat, whatever.
I do find it weird a 12-year-old puts cigarettes in the whale's mouths.
I noted that too. There's even a vape pen one as well, which I was kind of like, that's weird. But so I do that, and then I'm like going about my day or whatever, and I'm putting my daughter to bed, and I'm like on my phone, and I flip to like catch up on Discord notes, and all I see is like all caps plunge, like it's a fraud, get out, red alert, red alert.
I was like, red alert, get away, get away.
There was somebody on Twitter that was like super anti the kid, who then felt so bad the next day and posted all these apologies.
What was the guy that he had posted it initially and then was like, oh, and then he like got rid of all of them. He like gave them away on stream. He like had a Twitch stream. It was like a mea culpa, and he gave them all away. And then it turns out that he's real. So anyway, long story short, I minted this guy right here, this weird whales 1150 for which showed up on Rarity Tools today, by the way. I don't know if you guys saw that, but they are on Rarity Tools. And it's a top third NFT. Here it is. That's weird whales. But yeah, you can get a whale if you want. There's zombies and apes and all that. All the really sexy ones are up here. Floor is 0.095, so I 0.02 profit if I wanted to sell it right now, but I might just give it a Chugs. This guy feels so bad.
Because he uploaded his.
No, I mean,
I felt awful.
I could have and I like went and checked to see mine as well at like during whatever pump, and I was like, which ones were the ones I had? I sold them for like 0.05 and 0.06. They got up to, I don't even freaking know. Like I had it was like
it was 0.3. It like it sort of the floor got up to like 0.3.
But I had an ape one, and I had a beanie hat. Like I had like over an ETH potentially.
Oh man!
And it was just like nope.
Unrealized gains, so, just like you didn't have $100,000 in a Top Shot account.
Correct. It was all unrealized.
I feel bad. So, anyway, back to the contract stuff. After this tweet, which was sent on July 7th, have you dug in further on any of the recent, like in the last couple weeks? Do you have any new like juicy details on anything that came out this week? Are you still like sleuthing through smart contracts? And
I wasted a lot of time this week sleuthing through weird whales, because that one took a lot of my time trying to prove things one way or the other.
Yeah.
But the next thing I'm looking at is a lot of these NFTs have started coming out with associated currencies. So there's like bones for the top dogs, there's cheese for the sewer rats. So I've been reading through a lot of the currency contracts. I want to do a write-up of comparisons between those ones.
Well, let us know when you do, because I'm all in on that. This stuff, like technology wise is, I think, part of the reason that everybody's pushing really hard is like so novel and it's cool. And there are things that are like, hey, I just want to do this thing. But I think a lot of the people that were here early and continue to sort of see the future vision of this is because the technology is pushing in a different direction. And there's lots of different creative ways that technology can be deployed. And I think part of some of the like projects that I'm super interested in the last couple weeks have been things that are like doing something a little bit different. Right. So, the one that right now, like I'm sort of, I see the vision. I think Qubits on Ice is, and I'm not, again, I don't have any connection to their team. This is not advertisement. Qubits on Ice, I think is going to be big. I don't know, have you seen this project yet?
I haven't.
Okay. So
show me, pull it up.
Yeah,
What's a Qubits on Ice?
They look like Funko Pop characters.
Yeah, so they're sort of Funko Pop like collectibles. It's not
looking.
It's not an avatar for like an avatar's sake. What did I spell it wrong? Qubits.
You could pull it on OpenSea too if you wanted.
Maybe it's not QU.
I think it is.
Is it?
It's QUBITS.
Is it on Ice?
On the Ice. These SEOs, man.
Qubits on Ice was already taken, so they needed to do
on the Ice. Yeah.
Hold on.
Have you? So Sarah,
I'll find it.
While he's looking, are you working on anything else other than like with Stoner's Rock, kind of like all you've got right now, or are you sort of like got anything else that you're?
I have another project coming up related to Stoner's Rock. It's going to be like a companion drop / new NFT project. So if you have a rock, you'll get a free one from the new collection.
Good thing I got my great.
Yeah, you're in. But after I posted that thread, I got tons and tons of people reaching out that have their own NFT projects that just need a coder. And
right. I figured that's what you would get, like an avalanche of people just being like, hey.
Yeah, it's pretty shocking how many people have full projects ready to go with no coder. So these artists are out there like working their asses off to do a generative project with no idea how they're going to launch, which is kind of sad.
Yeah, no, I mean it's. I mean,
if you know Solidity, you're a hot commodity.
Well,
yeah, and I'm so busy. I was like, you know what? I could only do this for like 30% of sales, and they're like, done. So I was like, oh shit, I should be asking for like 50 or something. I don't know.
Well, I mean, everybody's got ideas, and everybody, like, I don't want to say everybody can draw, but like artists can draw up stuff, but like. You need somebody that can really kind of like make it go, you know? So
yeah, and there's surprisingly more work involved on the coder side than I thought. I thought it would be pretty easy, but no, it's like the coder brings it all together, including the website and the mint process. Like you have to build that whole mint experience, the whole stack.
Go ahead.
I was going to say one of your favorite things that you noted in that thread, and I guess you said you were going to borrow it in the future, the Cool Cats thing where they coded that payments were all split amongst the founders. Like there isn't like a community wallet or something like that.
So I did that in mine. See theirs, they did T1, T2, T3. If you look at mine, it says Sarah, Sean, Mark. So, you know, if you're a fan of someone on the team, you could tip them directly. But I think this method should be a standard moving forward. It's just so nice being able to see right in the contract who the team is. It's like more transparency, you know?
Yeah. Less of an anonymous kind of, there's this nebulous wallet where like all the money goes. And, you know, who knows what happens to it after that. Like roadmaps or, you know, people say what they're going to say and you trust that. But I like that.
If anybody would like to send money to the plunge in community wallet, it's plungefather.eth. Feel free. Send whatever you want.
chugsandbugs.eth as well.
Don't send it there though. Just plug in. So with Qubits, so they're only like 36% pulled out of 10,000. But the thing that stuck out to me about their project, and I have full disclosure, I have 5 of them. I'm probably going to mint 10 more. They're 0.045. they're boxed. So they come in a box, and the box apparently also has properties that aren't revealed in the metadata. Like initially, you can see like the properties of your particular qubit, but you get to decide it using a DApp that they're deploying next week to whether or not you want to keep it sealed or if you want to open it. And then if
like
you
a classic collectible.
Correct. And then they have a Cubinator, which is you can then take two of them and pick and choose which traits from each you want to combine into a single. So you essentially burn
the
one of them.
forging process.
Yep,
That's
forging
a new
process.
trend people are talking about.
Yep, totally like Maison de Goat, right, is doing it. Goblin Goons is doing it. There's at least one or two others, I think.
I thought the elephants might have it.
Yeah.
Do the elephants have it?
I'm not sure. I'm not in that project, but if anybody in the chat can confirm on that one, yeah, Forge the Goats. But yeah, so this one, it's super interesting from that perspective. And I imagine that there's going to be game stuff down the line, but at least in terms of like, hey, this stuff it's voxel art, right? Voxel art is voxel art in general, but you can choose to keep it sealed. You can choose to open it. You can choose to do these things. Like, just having something and just like it being there is all well and good, and there's place for that, but having things that you can sort of do with them and make choices about, and I sort of like that concept, and it's at least right now kind of appealing to me. And I really like the thing about these is like the design of the website and also the way that they look is like really professional. I think it's way like it's very clear that they especially with the animation for when you're minting and those types of things, like it's very clear that they put a ton of effort into the design elements of it, which I think matters a lot. It gives me like Apple vibes, like Apple packaging, right? Where
that's
it's
so
clean,
important.
right? Like clean and crisp, and like the aesthetics of it are really cool. So anyway, that's my spiel. Again, not paid, not disclosed advertisement because I'm not getting shit.
Well,
from
now
them anyway.
I'm torn. Should I mint a qubit or should I go to Top Shot? I don't know where I'm going to start.
Well, Top Shot's only like $9 for a pack, so you're okay there for a little roll and see what you get.
So actually, now that I'm thinking about this, though, I think I should probably just give one away. I'll just give a qubit away.
Give a qubit away?
Why not?
Do it.
Let's do it. Let's give a qubit away. All right, everybody, type qubit in the chat.
Spell it right.
Qubit.
Yeah. There's one project that I wanted to ask you about, Sarah. Have you caught wind of? There seemed to be a lot of buzz. It seems to be backed by kind of like a real company. It's not like an indie project, so to say. Royal Society of Players. It's like playing cards, like a deck of cards. Like I did 2 of them, and I got a pair of jacks. I have no idea if like I've got something or not. Like I have 2. Have you seen anything with that project yet, or not?
No,
really?
it came across. Yeah, right. It just hit my inbox today to start looking at it. I'm curious. I had brainstormed a card game idea previously. I think there's a ton of really fun things that you can do with cards. So I have a lot of hope for that. And
it sounds like their goal is to really mesh real life benefits with it, like almost like one of the interviews they were saying it's almost like a mix between like V Friends and a black card, and I kind of like you can't help but kind of like roll your eyes a little bit at that.
Like super ambitious.
Yeah. But to that point though, like there's not an insignificant amount of people that I've like spoken to kind of behind the scenes DMs and stuff that are like very heavily have high conviction in that kind of the concepts that they're pushing or whatever. And
your pair of jacks sounds pretty good then.
Yeah, I mean, I hope, I don't know. I'm sure that, somebody out there's got pocket aces, so whatever. I'm probably just going to have to settle for, some paltry reward for it.
So Sarah, I feel like I want to talk to you for like way longer. So we're going to bring you back. Maybe not next week, maybe not the week out, but soon. We're going to bring you back, especially if there's other things outside of the Stoner Rock project that you're working on that you want to talk through.
Yeah. When that's ready, that'd be great.
I'm a big fan. Let's put it that way. So we're gonna send you off. We'll roll this. We'll give it away, and then take a little breather and bring on the Poi Puppy folks. So everybody in the chat that typed Qubit, we're gonna roll it right now. And Terp Hockey 21 is our winner. Terp Hockey 21.
Name.
So go ahead and hit me on DM in Twitter.
Who was my winner again? It was like big bag of beef or something.
Backyard Dick Karate 69.
Backyard Dick Karate 69.
Yeah,
Oh
I'll get you the ETH address. I'll send it to you on Twitter.
That is so classic.
So so that was to Terp Hockey 21. Yeah, hit me up on DM or in Twitter or on Discord with your ETH address, and I will send along Qubit 1615. Which the reason I picked it is because this one has basketball shoes, and we are ostensibly a Top Shot podcast stream. But Sarah, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Last thing we're going to show for you. Everybody go mint some Stoner Rocks. They're cool. I will probably mint.
We got a companion. We got a companion coming.
I'll
too,
blaze
right?
on the show just to make it authentic.
There we go. Love that. Well, Sarah, have a great night. Thanks again for coming on, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks.
All right.
That was fantastic.
Dude, she's awesome.
She's so great.
She's
people were hitting me up in DMs like, dude, she's like just seems like the coolest person ever.
I love talking to new people about fun stuff and asking them questions and like it being okay, like not being the smartest person in the room. And she was very clearly the smartest person in that room right there.
Yeah. She knows the ins and outs of how the sausage is made on all of this stuff way more than we ever possibly could. Which I want to say real quick though, get Lorax on, but we're gonna give away a moment. You gave away Darius Garland, so we're gonna give away a Colin Sexton. We're gonna go Sexland in this bit.
Sexland. Hey Lorax, how's it going, man?
What's up, buddies? Can you hear me?
Not too much. We can.
Yeah, I can hear you.
So we're gonna give away a Colin Sexton before we bring on the rest of your team and chat it up about Poi Puppies. I feel like we're giving away good stuff tonight. We got a lot of feeling vibey.
I'm pretty sure the Sexton I'm giving away is a relatively low cereal. Yeah, I have it listed for $69 because 69. But
right, so what's the keyword that people have to type?
Sexland. You kidding me?
Sexland.
Sexland. Type it in. And we'll
Sexland.
roll that shit.
We'll roll that. So Lorax, how you been?
Good, my friends. As finally we're talking and not doing this. Right.
I know, man. It's good. It's good to finally see you.
Chugs, my man.
Yeah, you need to get to Memphis. We need to get some ribs with Rashawn.
You know that. We gotta do that for real. I was just chatting with him too. I'm trying to look for his pup inside of the colony. Hasn't popped up yet.
Very, very nice. I'm actually canceling the sale of my $69 Colin Sexton so I can gift it
so that you can gift it someone 7 days.
There we go.
Nice. All right, we're gonna roll it.
I didn't know I'd have to do that.
Yeah, if you have it listed, it's a 7-day thing.
Well, that's weak. Well, I'll still give it though.
J Boo's 33. I know that name.
Word. Who got it?
Yeah, J Boo's 33. I know that name.
All right, you're getting it.
Congrats.
Getting that sex lane.
Get it. Got it.
So Lorax, for anybody that doesn't know, you're a 9 Lives Lounge member. You're a bastion of positivity. You are perhaps the most interesting man in the 9 Lives Lounge Discord.
Oh no, I don't know about that. Probably the most irritating. Everybody's like, shut up.
What's your rank right now? What is your rank? Are you like number one?
Are we gonna rank right now? We're gonna rank right now? No, I don't know.
I'll look it up for you.
I've been smashed lately. I've been so busy with these Poi Puppies.
Yeah. So talk to us about that. So you guys just launched yesterday, right? Your NFT project, a long time in the making. You've been talking about it for a long time. So give us the 30,000-foot view of what the project is, and should we bring in the other folks from your team?
Yeah, absolutely. Do an intro? Maybe let's do let's do an intro. So an intro, we did a lay NFT first, and so that was like our opening act. So it was an NFT before an NFT, and I can tell you guys a story about that a little bit later. So it was the lay is a charity lay, and it's a Make-A-Wish lay Haku Aloha, and all the proceeds of that lay right there go to Make-A-Wish Hawaii. And so we thought it was a perfect thing to do, not only to open up our presence and announce ourselves into the NFT metaverse, but to do it Hawaiian style and give people a lay as well. And then their hard-earned ETH goes to a good cause. Make-A-Wish Hawaii. So we
That's
started
awesome.
with that. That was
Yeah.
actually our first NFT drop. So we did 2 in 1 really. So there's 360 different types of lays. They all say they're the same, but we put a hue saturation layer on it. So there's 360 different unique colors to a 5,000 set right now.
That's awesome. Yeah, you sent this to me to put on my cool cat, which I really appreciate. And there's a handful of other folks in the Nine Lives Lounge and the Discord.
I got mine.
Yeah,
Mine
you got
was
yours
on
as
there.
well.
It was great. This is great on Twitter.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up your Twitter, the Poi Puppy Colony Twitter as well, because you've got a ton of lays on there from this, and I'll send this as well for in the chat for anybody that hasn't connected on Twitter. But yeah, so you it's not just you have people behind you, surrounding you, ahead of you that are working with you on this project as well. Do you want to introduce them and we can bring them in?
Absolutely. So we have an entire in-house team. Nothing is outsourced. So on the Leo Aloha video, if you watch that, it shows Blurry Box, who's backstage, 13 hours straight drawing that lei. And so it kind of shows it. And who's singing back there is actually Pomai Ka'i Keave, and she sings over the video. So, Oromai Pomai, how are you?
Let me unmute. Hi, I'm good. Aloha. Nice to meet you all.
It's nice to meet you as well. Thanks so much for coming and talking to us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So she's the voice on the video as well. So if you guys want to listen to her again, which you guys are going to want to after this, you can just go to that video and put it on repeat and just listen to it over and over and over again.
And where it's on the website, or is it on
the website? It's on the website. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's on Poi Puppy.
I think I'm sharing my audio. Hold on. Let me see.
Yeah.
Am I sharing my audio?
Seeing how bright it is over there, it's making me jealous. What time is it over there for you guys?
It's only 5:30. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm very jealous right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So maybe not people can play the video later.
Okay.
And then because you want to hear Pomai fresh, she's right here right now, and she's ready to jam for you guys. Yeah.
Are you gonna play a song for us?
Sure.
Are we really doing this? Oh man.
Oh
yes.
I'm excited.
Let's go.
Perfect.
So first of all, mahalo nui for having me here, and I'm just gonna share this song that is it's pili to my ohana, meaning it's a song that's special to my family. My grandmother is a renowned Hawaiian music singer here in Hawaii, and she made this song kind of popular, and you'll see why in a second. Here we go.
Sheesh.
Island, and hope you enjoy and become a part of our Poi Puppies colony.
I seriously just was transported. I
was-
swear to God. Like I just like blacked out, like in the best kind of way, just completely. Somebody commented, they're just like, I feel like I'm on the beach. Like this is, I could literally sit there and just hear that like on a loop for like hours.
That was
That was
wonderful.
in the South. In the South, we call that comfort food. That was comfort food for the soul.
That was comfort food for my ears. That was wonderful. Yeah. And everybody in the chat, thank you for being so wonderful. And I was watching, I know that you were focused on singing, but holy cow, you held some of those notes for a very long time. That was incredible.
So these right here are my grandparents. This is my grandma who actually made that song popular. Her name is Genoa Keabe. And then this is my grandpa. And she always told me that if you wanted to hold those high notes longer, you have to smile bigger. So the word for smile in Hawaiian language is minoaka. So let that be your first or third Hawaiian word, right? Because you know aloha, you know mahalo, right?
Mm-hmm.
So your third word is minoaka, which is to smile.
I also know the name of the Hawaiian state fish, but that's...
Oh, yeah?
Oh! Get them for my...
Give it to us.
Is it actually the state fish, or is that just a legend? Hama hama nuku nuku apo aha? Did I get it?
That's a whole nother conversation that we don't want to get into.
We don't want to get into it. Yes, yeah. But I've only been to Hawaii twice. It was two of the best weeks I've ever had, and Maui both times, Oahu one of the times, and just a fantastic time. If you haven't been, highly recommend it. Not that anybody needs more goading to go to Hawaii, but if they can listen to music like that every day, that would be pretty fantastic. Thank you again so much for sharing that. You have a gift, and I appreciate you sharing it with us.
No, mahalo for having me. Thank you.
Mahalo Hawaii. Yeah.
All right. So talk to us a little bit about the project, and I can start sharing my screen as well. And
yeah, for sure.
Kind of, that was a wonderful intro and lovely sounds to accompany. But let's talk a little bit about the drop and what you guys have going on.
Yeah. So we got a pretty crazy story. So like to start it off, I've been in the development space for quite some time, especially in education technology. And so 2016, I was actually developing a platform, and I thought it was legit. I was like, I got this idea. I always have these ideas. And so what I started to do was generate a learning management system like I've done in the past. But our principal architecture was blockchain. And so everything that came across the platform, we were tagging with SHA-256 serial hash. And so I was doing this and, failing for so many years, just working with a dev team. And they're just like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? And I was like, I have an idea. And I think utilizing blockchain, that one, it's added security, but two, the transparency that's involved and the ability to track and trace everything is invaluable. And so we just kept on hacking away. And then no joke, in March, and prior to that, my cousin, who's this amazing engineer, he kept on telling me like, hey, Andrew, how's your project going? I was like, it's going good, man. Just developing, whatever. And he's just like, did you ever see this thing, Top Shot? And I was just like, no, man, I don't know what you're talking about, And then so, finally I see him again. We live together in Japan near each other in Japan, because he's a contractor for the military. And, we'll talk about me developing these things abroad and whatnot. And then, so he finally comes back, and, I'm doing my thing elsewhere. And so in March, he's just like, did you check out that Top Shot? It might've been end of February. And I start looking at it, and I'm just like, holy smoke. I was just like, I didn't know what an NFT was. It was pretty much similar to what I was designing with a learning management system. And, it was a bittersweet moment for me. And I was just blown away that, here it is, something that you worked so hard for. It's finally available to the world. So I just kind of sat back and started to enjoy these things myself as well. And then, it just ended up clicking. It's just like very connected. And you see how Pomai is. Everybody in Hawaii, everybody just alohas. Everybody's so close to each other. And Blurry Boxes backstage. Oh, he's right here too. Probably just waiting for me to stop talking so much, like I'm on Discord. but yeah. So I hit him up because I knew he was just an exceptional artist. We've been friends since college, and he's a Maui boy. He's from Maui, and so I met him, up in the States a few times when he was living there, working for Rockstar Games, working. So he's into the art for gamification and everything, and he knows how to, develop games forward and backwards. And I just hit him up, and I was just like, Blurry Box, because that's his real name, I was just like, check this out. I was just like, this NFT space, it's the future. And then he's just like, are you serious? I've been, I'm gonna let him tell the story, but like, he's just like, I've been doing this my whole life and I had no clue that this existed. I can just do art and be rewarded for it now. And so we decided to get together, of course, with Pico, who's also in your chat right now. He's our dev. He's sitting there. He didn't want to come on and talk, but man, you guys, in the future, you need to listen to him speak. He has a lot to say. Excellent, just a brain. So we developed everything from scratch, from nothing, and everything's original, and all the team is in-house. No one's outsourced. But that was the inception of the project, of everybody coming together to do this Poi Puppy colony. But Blurry Box, you want to talk about the art?
Yeah, what's up, man? What's up, guys? Good to be
Hey,
here.
Hey,
welcome.
come aboard.
Hello. I gotta say, first off, I don't know if Omai is still here, but that was beautiful. And when I heard her singing over my video of me drawing that lay, I was just so stoked. Like her song is so much better than what I was doing. So it's great. I love it. It's great that we're all coming together like this. But yeah, talk about the art, right? So, should I just go into the puppies first, or what should I talk about here?
Yeah, what do you guys experience the pups now? Like, what do you guys think? Like, you guys have any questions or?
Yeah, so I minted 5 of them yesterday, and I think you sent me one for just being cool, I guess, and you also sent me a bunch more so that we can give them away tonight. So we're gonna do some of that as well. But I was the first one that you sent me. I saw, and I was like, I think it was this guy right here.
Yeah,
like, oh, he's so sad.
And you're a dog person. He's like, he's sad, and I was like, no, he's not. If you had wings, you'd be meditating too. That's exactly what he's doing. He's like, he's reached nirvana with those wings.
That first one, the top left, that's the closest to my dog, my actual dog.
Oh snap!
Looks like black and tan.
So go ahead, Blair.
It's really interesting, like how much the eyes just change the whole character of that dog. Because you take those eyes and you change them to like the angry eyes or the big round eyes, and the character just completely changes. There's so much to do with just a circle versus a line. It's really a lot.
Pull up the demon dog.
This one?
Well, yeah, pull up the demon dog.
Yeah.
I'm interested in the demon dog.
No, a zombie dog with red eyes. I haven't seen that. That's crazy.
The anti-zombie collar and a zombie skin, which I thought was a cool combo. And I love that there's a thick beagle.
Yeah, that's the breed, thick beagle. But I have to thank Dream Shake for shaking us up, because we had some controversial dogs and or pups, and it was actually the zombie category, and they had blood on them and some bones and whatnot. And Dream Shake, he immediately flagged that and said, I love the set, and this is kind of taking it away from it. There's a lot of dog people out here, and it's kind of hitting home. And then I immediately got on the call with Blurry Box, and I was just like, hey, we got a misfits problem right now. We need to.
Yeah, when you've got like sort of a singular view and you're sort of in your world and just drawing. I'm sure you're very attached to the things that you've drawn as well. It sometimes takes some of that like external external feedback loop to get some of those things and some of the kinks worked out. But yeah, I think they're super cute. Obviously there's like a lot of dog projects going on right now. We talked about the Doge Pound last week, and obviously Bored Ape Kennel Club is sort of, you know, the top of that world. But there's like puppies, like not quite haven't, it seems a little like as a differentiating factor, at least in my opinion, on this. And I just love the art. So Blurry, you know, the ones that I minted and then that Lorax sent me to give away, like I was looking at all of them and I was like, these are cool. they're cool. They're cute. And I'm all in on it.
Yeah, thanks. I really appreciate that. It's really outside of what I usually do. These guys actually came around because I was taking commissions and doing concept art a couple years ago, and I was trying to increase my how much money I was making off art. My wife's like, "Dude, you got to do something cute." Like I'm you know, the zombie stuff, that's right in my wheelhouse. You know, I making artwork for games. A lot
do
of
cute stuff.
Yeah, it's, you know, a lot of the stuff I was doing was really violent and people with weapons, and you know, my wife was just like, "Yeah, do cute stuff. People buy that." And so yeah, I made these for that purpose. And I don't know what happened. You know, it was a couple of years ago, but I just kind of shelved them. And when this project came up, I had a bunch drawn up already, and we thought, hey, it's time to dust these things off. It's kind of the perfect fit for what we're trying to do here. So, you know, wide appeal, big eyes, it's all good.
Yeah. And you know, it's art. There's people have been drawing dogs since they've probably seen a dog, you know, in a cave or whatnot. So, you know, to kind of lump it into the NFT space, you know, there's plenty of room for more dogs to come in the future. You know, we're not going to be the first, we're not the last, you know, but what we really like out of the NFT space is a community that you can build behind it. And that's one thing we really know how to do here in Hawaii. So don't sleep on this.
Don't sleep on the boy pups.
This is a key to Hawaii right here.
Yeah, I totally gather that. And in our conversations, I think one of the things that sticks out from speaking with you and talking with you is that like there is, without being cliche, like there's a vision for this beyond, hey, we're just trying to make a bunch of money off cartoon dogs. Like there is some like Hawaii specific and centric rallying that you're trying to accomplish with this. And I sort of, you know, narrative value matters, I think, in a lot of ways.
And you know, so I think a lot of people kind of, you know, like we didn't really get deep into the story. You know, we kind of wanted to leave it open as well. But there's a deeper message in there because of what exactly happens in Hawaii. So, you know, we definitely have a unique culture here. We're, you know, tied to the United States, but you know, everybody's states. I mean, look at Chugs from Louisiana. You know, culture is different everywhere. So we communicated what we know here in Hawaii. But as we know, these NFT projects, these pups will be distributed throughout the world, and we're telling our story right now. But you don't know what somebody else will tell in Louisiana or Japan or China, wherever these pups may land. And so that's when the story kind of develops more, and you see the community come out of that. And that's what we want, you know, because Hawaii is such a small place. It's a beautiful place. It's a unique place, and our voice isn't often heard. But I think with these projects, we're able to connect now, and with people from across the world, and we have a common bond through the poi puppies, right? And so I think a lot of these projects, and that will be the sustain for NFTs in the future, as opposed to how they're just commoditized now. You know, it's like the .com bubble. You know, once that popped, it's not like technology went away, right? Technology, just the cream came to the top, and it's those people who have the long-term sustain that you will see turn into, you know, the big tycoons in the industry. And we hope we can do that out of Hawaii and connect with the rest of the world.
Yeah. I love it. I love the vision. I love the story. Let's give some puppies away. Can we do that?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Let's stop talking about deep stuff and give away a puppy.
No, it's necessary to get it on tape. It's like you got to get the press release tape stuff in. Having these and put, like, I feel this way a lot with projects in general. Like when you have something in your hands you feel differently about it than looking at it from afar. So I love the idea of being able to give these things away, expose people to projects that they might not have seen. Someone gets something in their wallet that they then, hey, like, I really like this, and they share it. The network effects of these things matter a lot. And the community and that you're talking about building, not just like, hey, it's a Discord community, it's cool to talk to people, but like the people, like the shared common experience stuff matters. And it's a big reason why, you know, there's sticky projects and there's things that fall by the wayside. So even if it's slower burn, like, this is cool stuff. So I got 5 to give away. Let's go ahead and do that. So what should we type in the chat for
your word, man? What would you say?
Yeah.
Oh, fire. No,
not quite. No, we're not gonna do that. So we'll call it. We'll just do poi.
Just do poi.
Which
is just do poi, which is one of the staples of the Hawaiian diet, and then we called poi puppies because mutts over here in Hawaii, I might be getting this wrong, but that's what we've known them to be growing up. Is they were mixed dogs, and that's what you do with the taro root, which is also called the arrow root. You pound it, and it turns into a mush, and so it's all mixed up, and then that's what a mutt is in Hawaii. It's a poi pup.
Awesome. That I didn't realize that. I'm glad you shared that.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that was the naming of it.
Yeah.
All right. So which one? I feel like I don't remember which ones I minted and which ones were given away. But we'll just you pick one. I don't. Which one are we going to give away first?
Chugs, you want to keep that one on the top, and then the last one, I'll mint a fresh one for somebody.
Ooh.
Or you wanted the Roddy, right? It looks like
the clean black and tan is like the closest thing that I've seen to my actual dog.
Yeah.
So that one holds a special place in my heart.
Yeah, don't let that one slip. So Chugs, you keep that one. Let's give away 4, and then the 5th one, somebody drop me their ETH address, and then I'll send it directly to them.
Mint one. Cool. All right. Well, let's do this one first then. So we're gonna roll it, and whoever gets this guy is Deep Florist. So DM me on Twitter or on Discord. Can you put the number 105 in there so I remember which one that I'm sending to you? I always forget to do that, and I end up like I have to go back and watch. So if you can just DM me on on Twitter or on Discord, your ETH address as well as 105, I will send this along to you. All right, next one. Let's roll it again. Again, poi, POI is the thing. The next one we're going to give to BGC 0614. So I know that name. I think he won something last week. I think he won something last week. So let's go back and just go on down the line. So this guy is going to be for you. It looks, this is cool. I'm a gazelle is the headwear. I love that. In Pomeranian. So BGC, hit me up on DM with 106 and your ETH address, and I'll get that one to you. All right, here we go. What's it? So two more. What do you want to do? You want to do like the? No, we already did a Pomeranian. Let's do something else. We can do the zombie dog. We can do the zombie.
Oh, that one's so
That's
good.
fire. We're doing this. This is a good one. This is a very
good one.
104. We're gonna give away 104. Here we go.
The zombie beagle.
Zombie
beagle. The zombie beagle.
Zombie beagle. I like it.
Zombie beagle. All right, here we go. Captain Solo. Captain Solo.
That's a strong win.
That's
a big win.
So yeah, again, Twitter or Discord, hit me up with the ETH address and 104 so that I don't know which one to hit. All right, last one. Which one are we doing? Let's take a look. Oops, sorry. Back and forth. All right, so we're doing the right. All right, let's do the. Well, no, I like that one. It's. I'm gonna keep that one. All right, we'll do this one right here.
What about? I was gonna say the corgi with the cool.
This is awesome. This is like a combination of very interesting traits in this one.
So that's a good one. That's a gold one too. You know what's funny? Like you see the rarity score. You're not gonna know the accurate rarity score until the entire column.
Yeah, the whole thing's minted.
Yeah. So it's gonna change. It's gonna change all the way. We have our metadata hidden.
Yeah.
And
you're not leaking metadata.
No leaks. No leaks.
No leaks. Thanks to Pico.
Nice. Thanks, Pico, for not leaking metadata. All right, let's roll this one. Thorax 1595.
Oh, Thorax, my
Yeah.
man.
Thorax.
There we go.
Yeah, hit me up in
Yeah.
DM 145 in your ETH address. Awesome.
There we go.
All right. Well, hey, that's awesome. So everybody out there, poipuppycolony.com is the address. So hit that up, mint those if you care to. Like I said, I'm into 5 of them, and gonna send a couple to Chugs here for for the one that looks like his dog. But anything else that you guys want to talk about or make sure people know about, or that they can reference back to in terms of understanding what the project is and what it means?
Join a Discord. Let's have a conversation. That's what we are. I'm super personable. Let's chop it up in there. Hit us up on our Twitter
link as well.
Yeah.
For the Discord. Actually, can I?
Is it not working from the site?
I can put it in the private chat and you can copy it over. I can get it.
No, I got it. Hold on.
You got it?
Yeah. I was on a channel that I couldn't send an invite from. All right. So do we have a fried rice channel yet? GP shout out. Not sure. I'm in there as well. I haven't been very active. I'm in like 30 Discords, so it's really hard for me to keep track of those things. But if you ever need me, bat phone me. Just at me. If you see me in a Discord, just at me. Awesome. And again, Blurry, like fantastic art going through these. Like I feel like I kind of don't want to give any of these away.
we like the pups.
We like the pups.
Yeah,
we like the pups.
It means a lot. Put a lot of effort into these things.
It's very clear.
Yeah,
it's very clear.
I'm so happy that you guys like them.
Cool, man. All right. Well, we're gonna let you guys go, but thanks so much for hopping on. Anything else?
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right,
thanks so much. All right. Have a good night. All right.
What you think, man? We're 2.5 hours. It's
Do people want to?
What do you think?
We need to talk about what do we need to talk about?
I don't know. I mean,
I sent you a ton of stuff. Like, hey, there's all these things. Can we? Can we do like 10 minutes so that I can like clip this shit and post on Twitter or something about
what?
Influencers and paid advertisement?
Oh yeah, sure.
We haven't had this conversation.
We can hit that.
So I'm curious your take, like for anybody that didn't know, like what the fuck are you doing? You need to pay attention. No. So yesterday, Art Chick calls out Cole Ethereum, who you've probably seen on Twitter, for accepting or for a transaction of 4 and change ETH from the famed Lady Squad team, very clearly indicating that he got paid to sort of promote their project. People come out in droves. Oh my God, it's the worst thing ever. Blah, blah, blah. Like disclosed advertisement essentially. And, I think you and I fall into a very interesting area as people that don't really accept, or for the most part, like we're not, like nobody's paying us to do anything. Like none of these people on here, Sarah's not paying us. Poi Puppy, like we ask these people to give away stuff, but like we're not, for the most part, haven't at least yet accepted any sort of like formalized agreement for services rendered, right? But there is in between that and just tweeting about stuff that you like, there's this interesting gray area that occurs where when I or you like something and want to bring attention to it for whatever reason, whether it's like, for me, it's just like, I just don't have a filter and I just want to share whatever. Like if it gets me excited, I'm sharing it.
I mean, same kind of
right. But like there's it's hard to differentiate that and I'm pumping my bags for the sake of pumping my bags. So I'm curious your take on like, where is the line, if there is a line, and what responsibilities, ethics, like tangible things do you expect moving forward in this space, and what, for specific projects, people, and where do we fall? Like, what are your thoughts generally?
Yeah, I mean, so for me, I've mostly tried to stick to like, I have to actually like it. Like, I don't want to wake up one day and I'm like talking about something that I like and just like, what did I just say? Like, I don't believe a word of what I just said. Now, if somebody's explicitly paying me for that, compensating me for that, that's a different ordeal. And you make that clear, right? That's the whole hashtag ad type situation, right? Like, I get that. So I guess, like, I mean, for me or for us, it's more just, you know, for Neon Cats is the most recent thing that I was kind of like involved in, where like I caught wind of it. There hadn't been many done. I was like, this is fucking cool aesthetic. Like, I really like this. I don't care if it could go to 0 for all I care. Like, I like it. I've got 2 of them, and I'm talking to the Bored Ape guy who does neon lights of it. And I might get 2 like real life ones made for me of the neon cat ones, because I think they're so cool. I didn't get paid for any of that. And so I'm going to continue to kind of like be like that with certain projects. If I really like it, like, I'm going to say that I really like it. I do think though that there is kind of a line where, you know, the irony is with the blockchain, everything is out there. So it's like, why should I have to disclose this? Like, you can go see it if you want. Like,
yeah, if they pay someone it's very easy for someone to transfer them cash. Like, we're not always going to be able to see every exchange. Not everybody's going to have a public wallet that they're receiving things from. There might be third parties that are involved. Like, you know, it's easy to say this now because it was very clear. Like, Fame Lady Squad account sent Cole Ethereum dot ETH for
4.25 or whatever
right.
the hell it was.
But if you take to a really good example and something that I'm curious now, like, all right, Josh Hart, does he have to put ad when he tweets about Top Shot?
Yeah, because it's on one hand, he's, you know, it's this fine line where it's like the beauty of it all was like, he's a collector just like us. Like, he's just a regular guy who really likes the product. And why can't he just say he really likes the product? But there is, I mean, there is a certain line though where, you know, it's one of those things where you have to kind of dance around optics, where like, if yeah, that's
a really good way
pretty
of
much
approaching it.
That's pretty much it. I mean, like,
everything with a grain of salt.
Yeah, I mean, well, think about any other, I mean, not to get on too much of a tangent, but like, think about any other product that you're into. Like, the person who signs up for CrossFit and starts doing CrossFit, all they could fucking talk about is how great CrossFit is, because they're trying to, you know, like, it's just it's with a lot of there's always that aspect of like, when you experience something that you really like, you want to talk about it. The problem, the potential optics problem is when you do cross over into that, like, yeah, I like the product, but I'm also being compensated at the same time. And so whereas a guy like Josh Hart could be like, fuck you guys, like, I actually really like Top Shot, and I don't really care if I'm getting these packs. I'm a fucking millionaire. Like, I could buy all this crap anyway if I wanted to. Like, but I have an arrangement that I'm getting paid in packs instead of money for it. Like, once he lays that down, like, you, like, anybody trying to like come at him at that, like, you're just wrong at that point. But if you are like, if you're part of like, you know, some of these, well, I mean, if you're part of a project where you're not really saying anything about what you're getting, and you're like, I mean, I don't even know what Cole was really tweeting. Like, I didn't go check the receipts of like what he was saying or whatever to be like, oh wow, he's clearly like pumping the fuck out of this, and then like quietly got, you know, 4 ETH dropped into his wallet or whatever. Like, I don't know the details on that. I do think though we are kind of like getting into that area where you might need to kind of like be like,
here's what I have. You know, I've minted X number of these.
Yeah, like, FYI, I minted 20 of them, you know.
I pretty much start every tweet with that. Like, by the way, I minted 5 of these. Like,
well, but that's the thing with a lot of what we do, or at least how we've played it. I mean, if I talk about a project, it's because I did mint something and I show it off and I flex it and whatever. But I'm, you know, if I sell it, I'll say I sold it or whatever. But I haven't even done that yet. But
yeah,
I don't know.
It's a weird dynamic, and it's sort of because I think I give Cole the benefit of the doubt, and a lot of these people the benefit of the doubt as well, that like no one's giving us like, here's the playbook, oh, by the way, here are the regulations. Oh, by the way, this is what the FTC requires. I see everybody like, oh, regulate. Like, dude, if fucking Elon Musk can do what he's doing and not get slapped in on the hand for FTC, like, no one's gonna come after Cole Ethereum. No one's gonna come after Pete and Chugs. Like,
oh, it's public opinion type crap.
It's a total, like, I don't give a shit if it's like against the letter of the law. Like, they're actually not going to legislate against that. Like, there might be, you know, at least in the short term. Like, that said, I think DP3ZZ, whatever, I forget how you say your name, but like, yeah, adding things like add or at least disclosing relationship is, I think, transparency. And frankly, like, the stuff, just to give everybody here a little behind the scenes look, I get, and I'm Chugs is the same way. I get at least one, but more like through 2 to 5 DMs a day from various projects and, you know, different types of things. And it's not even like just Top Shot adjacent stuff. It's all sorts of different things.
Literally anything.
Right. Like, hey, and all sorts of different types of things too. And, you know, from explicit, hey, well, can we arrange like an ETH thing, to like, hey, I'd like you to take a look at, you know, a pre look. Can you jump in the Discord and give some opinions on something like this without like, you know, hey, I'm going to offer you X number of dollars or X number of ETH. I almost categorically like sort of just delete them or say like, hey, I'm not really interested. Every once in a while, like if I actually look at the Discord or, you know, the Twitter or whatever and think it's cool, like I'll hop into the Discord just to like see what it is. And in many cases, like they end up adding me as like an early supporter, or like in the case of Cool Cats, like they added me as a mod. Like I don't really do anything for it. Right. And they haven't given me anything. Cat. It's sort of like a volunteer thing, but like, I don't have any formalized relationships with any projects, and it's sort of like by design. And like, I just don't, for me, like what I want, and for everybody that's here, like you're ride or dies, like if you're still with us 2 hours and 41 minutes into the stream, like you probably like enjoy or hearing us talk to some degree.
You're a real one.
You're a real one. And like, what I don't want to do is alienate any of the people that care to listen to me talk or like interact with me. Like, I don't want to rug you. I don't want to like hurt you. I don't want to make you a bad financial decision. I don't want to like put you in a bad spot so that I have financial gain. And like, that's sort of where I am, just like philosophically. But I also don't want to draw the ire of the larger community. Like, and I'm sort of, I want to tiptoe around, like, how do I share what it is that I'm engaged with? Like how explicit do I have to be in all of those things? So I think that's the promise that I'll give everybody here. Like, you know, if I ever get paid, there might be a really good opportunity. They're like, hey, I'll pay you to do this consultant thing. You see this all the time. Like Josh Ong is, you know, Andy, you know, all these people that get announced as like special advisors to these projects because there's value in some of their input. And maybe I have some of that for a particular project in the right circumstance, but like, I will disclose that. I probably won't put ad in every tweet, but like I'll make it explicit some way.
You'll know. Yeah.
You'll know that like I'm involved in some way. And I also like dance around like how not to sort of, I think that the big thing is, even if you're not saying go buy this thing, there are like psychological mechanics and FOMO in stuff that like just by tweeting a particular way, you're inciting behavior, which you need to sort of stay away from. So anyway, yeah, Captain Solo, great question. When does someone get defined as an influencer? Not quite sure. I'll let you know when I figured it out.
That's like giving yourself a nickname. I don't think anybody.
Yeah,
really,
this is 100% true. We are going to have a tax expert at some point. Come on.
Yes.
And we're all
probably late in the year.
Yeah, or early next year.
Early next year.
And we're all gonna sit here and be like, yeah, I'm not gonna fucking do that.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. So, any other thoughts on that?
No, I mean, I just get it. I get that it's kind of like a slippery slope where the optics of certain situations can be kind of rough. The thing that I hate for Cole in that particular situation is just like the need to like engage with all of it and try to like put out fires left and right when like it's just there's no upside in doing it for anyone. You know, one of the guys that we've talked to privately, or like semi-privately, like in the plunging Discord, like Steve, like he's just like, look, like I'm just gonna tell you like advice, like being like an established like you know, well respected, you know, public figure in this area as a writer. He's like, transparency is of utmost importance. Like just be honest about whatever. Like if anything remotely, you know, somebody kind of wants to call you out on something, like just be upfront about it right out the gate. And like that's kind of like you just said, if you ever, and I'd be the same way, if I ever came around a situation where I was going to get comped for something, like you'll know about it. And it's as simple as that. Like, at least from my side of things, like it's as simple as that. And, you know, until then, like, this is still like, I got a real job. Like, this is just a hobby and I'm having fun and I'm buying shit on the side and like, you know, tweeting out about how I think this thing's cool or whatever. And if a bunch of people agree, okay, you know, great. But, you know, send the government a Comma Gang NFT as payment. That's an elite shit post.
I'm in fights with the IRS right now. I'm very, very upset with them. I'll tell you that story later, but
so 2-hour 45 mark. I don't know.
Fun fact. I don't know if you knew this, but they're 18 months behind on processing responses to like communications. 18 months behind. And guess what? They're like, hey, I had an issue with a 2019 tax situation where they're asking for payment that's not due because we had, you know, like we have a tax professional that's dealing with it. But when we responded to them 3 times and all of the automated mailings keep coming to us like, hey, we still haven't, nope, they're 18 months behind. It's absurd. Anyway, that's the government for you. So
that's miserable.
Yeah, we should probably cut it though. We should probably be
done. We'll wrap it. Just couple quick little shout outs. We'll go shout out to the Poi Pup Colony folks. Shout out to Sarah.
She was cool.
Man. She was super cool. I'm gonna tweet out my little stoner rock in a minute. But like definitely need to have her back. Also shout out to I think his handle is the Neon Ape Yacht Club Boring Coffee Co. He's the guy who does the neon, like he creates like the actual neon bar lights, which our buddy Quad got one and like they look outstanding. I'm working with him to try to get one done for my neon cats. So shout out to him. Like if you got an ape or if you got anything, he seems to be eager to like freaking do it up with anything. And like the work from the apes looks fantastic. So, you know, get that on. The other one I got, man, Cart Lads. This is my indie kind of like weird side project.
What is
Cart Lads? So Cart Lads is the main project. This is German. It's a German outfit. But I've been DMing with the developers or whatever. They did the custom Game Boys. Like they're called handhelds. You can pull it up or I can share my screen, but that's like their main team. I think their team is called Team Naked. But anyway, they sell tickets. The way they do stuff in their smaller outfit, the way they do stuff is they drop these like 9 at a time, like once a week. So the counts are pretty low. They're not doing like this 10,000 generative thing. They're doing like 9 a week of Cart Lads. But then look up Handshelds. Like instead of handheld, like Hans, like because the artist's name is Hans. So Hansheld. They're these Game Boys. They're fucking dope. And they're all they're all like uniquely commissioned. Like each one was somebody sent in like, I want this. And he made them like on demand.
Oh,
so tomorrow, so I'll send out a tweet for it. Tomorrow they do a drop of tickets. And it's tickets to get yours commissioned. And then you provide like the hash, the transaction hash, and proof that it's yours or whatever, and then your requests, and they'll do like whatever you want basically. Or
So I can get a plunger one.
Oh my God, yeah, absolutely. And they're only I want to say the tickets are only like 0.03 ETH or something like that.
It?
Yes. And if you make a badass one, like, I mean, some of these have, I mean, the price that they're offering is a lot higher, but like, to me, I think it's like pretty like cool quality kind of novelty art. And there's not a lot of them, and they're purely custom.
Only one has been sold on resale.
Right. Well, and I think
there's only
mainly
been 44.
because it's unknown.
Yeah.
And
I
don't know if
it's
this
personalized. Right?
I don't know if this adds any clout to it, but Klon is a major fan of this.
Cool Cats Klon.
Cool Cats Klon, yes. I think he has one of these. He threw a bid on the cat one, which is the number one, like the handheld number one. Yeah, that one, right? The purple background.
I think this is sorry.
It's on the right. It was on the right. Anyway, I'll send out something. You like basically the tickets come available on OpenSea like at a certain time, and you just have to.
Thanks for sharing it with 80 other people, and there's only 10
right.
fucker.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is my shout out. We're gonna get them on. Like, I've already talked to them, and we're gonna get them on to like tell us about their project. And I don't know if they're gonna like eventually try to scale it really and like not be so like custom, or if they're going to keep rolling with this. But I think it's fucking cool. Like, this is the example. Like, I'm not getting paid. Like, I just think this is a fucking cool project. Like, I love it. I absolutely love it.
There's so many projects that I wanted to talk about today that we just didn't get to because we had other stuff going on. But
yeah,
next week we'll talk more. Well, next week we'll have the packs won't have come out yet, so we won't have.
I think Crypto Babe is Crypto Babe going to finally maybe the doges are to the moon and she can't
did you
come
see
down.
So sorry, so we gave away how many last week?
I don't know, 5 or 6 at least, right? What, did you give away like a mega rare one? Do you know?
No, but the floor is like almost 0.4.
That's see, that pisses me off because I had one and I like got rid of it at like 0.2 or whatever when the floor was falling down, and now it's essentially rocketed back up. Good grief.
Essentially a 0.4 floor.
I'm the worst at trading NFTs.
Yeah, so she grinds, and I think one of the things that, so I'm not really into like crypto Twitter and like Doge Twitter, but apparently there's a lot of people that are like big in the Doge Twitter space that are now involved. But I think she's gonna come on next week to talk about it.
Somebody had said it was during the Weird Whales thing. Somebody had commented, they're like, so what's more legit, Crypto Babe or the Weird Whales kid? And I was like,
very real.
I was like, well, I 100% know Crypto Babe is legit. Like, yeah, I know like who she actually is. Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and say, if I had to pick one or the other, I'd say Crypto Babe's the real deal.
All right, we need to end it. I gotta go to bed.
Yeah. Agree.
Good talking to you. I kind of like it without Taylor and Greg. I don't know.
I mean, they're fun. Back? They're nice. Yeah, we'll let them come back. We are paying them, right?
We are paying them.
Yeah, gotta have them back.
Hashtag ad. All right, everybody. Let's get some W's in the chat. Thanks for everybody for hanging out for so long. Much appreciated. And we'll talk to you next week.
Peace out, homies.